welcome.
Hi.
Surprise stream. We've not been allowed to talk about this, but this is the point where we can show you Xbox Series X games and things. So here we are.
Yeah. Out of nowhere, here's Mike Channel, everybody.
Yes.
And I'm Jane Douglas, everybody.
Hello.
And here's Mike, no less than with 4K,
4K
resolution, 60 frames per second in a channel first here on Outside Xbox.
So although we're in a little frame at the moment, when we get into gameplay and things,
yeah, that's true.
it will be proper full 4K, 60 frames per second. It's my creaking PC is managing like a champ to stream this thing. So actually, creaking's unfair. This thing's barely breaking a sweat. We were very fortunate to receive some PCs from Omen by HP, and they are pretty handy at this sort of thing.
Yeah, let alone the HP Omen PC. How's your internet connection standing up to streaming 60 frames a second of 4K pictures?
Pretty good so far. Pretty good so far. We'll see. I mean, I guess if it bursts into flame eventually, we'll know.
Yeah,
but currently, it's been running really well.
Mostly like problems for us, not problems for the viewers.
You can sit back and enjoy.
Hello, by the way, to you.
How are the viewers? How are we looking?
Sorry to surprise you like this in the middle of your day or the middle of your night or afternoon with a stream out of nowhere, but we march to the beat of the Xbox drum.
It's true.
And that drum says go and stream right now. Hot new Xbox Series X action. Our idea was we would show you whatever we can as you prefer and answer your questions as we can while we go.
There are certain things we can't show, but we will show as much as we are able to show. And so you can see, actually, this is proof that we are operating on a Series X, because if you look at the dashboard, it doesn't look that different from an Xbox One X.
Yeah, prove it, Mike. Prove this isn't just an Xbox One.
What you can see here is I've grouped by, there's a new option to group by console type, and so it will split out the one 360 game I've got is the greatest game of all time, obviously, but it will split it out into stuff that is optimized for your new consoles, either the Series
I want to
X
see some Xbox originals on there. Can we get some?
Oh man, I could go and download one from my the creaking. I'm going to download an Xbox original just for you, Jane.
No, don't do it. Don't do it.
It's fine. It won't take long.
Your internet will fully die.
How do you feel about a Crimson Skies High Road to Revenge? There we go. There it is.
Let's just stream that for 2 hours on an Xbox Series X in 4K.
This is what you came in to see.
60 frames a second.
15-year-old game.
Well. To backpedal, this is the Xbox Series X. This is the new Xbox you've heard so much, possibly, about.
Yep.
It's coming out on the 10th of November.
Yes.
And we've been playing a little bit of everything.
Certainly have.
On the Xbox Series X. I've got mine here, but it's not hooked up to the internet, so you can't see what I'm playing, which is obviously Crimson Skies.
Yeah, High Road to Revenge. I think it's... Oh, no, it hasn't already installed. I wonder whether it had already installed because it was like 5 meg big.
But that cannot be the first 4K game we stream here.
That's true, yeah.
Outside
we should
Xbox.
probably start with something a bit more pretty, like Gears or Forza Horizon or
All right,
something.
well, let's you kick us off into Gears.
Okay.
Go full frame so everyone can get a look at this mythological 4K resolution.
Full frame like this, you say?
And obviously, if you're watching this on your mobile phone, you won't be watching it in 4K, 60 frames a second. But if you happen to be at 2:00 this afternoon, somewhere in front of a 4K display that will support that display, that resolution and that frame rate, then bully for you, you'll be watching this in all its high definition.
Yeah, you've got options as well, because obviously you can watch the stream in 1080p 60 if you're more interested in seeing the frame rate stuff. Whatever suits you. I mean, obviously it's interesting because at the moment the kind of key battlegrounds for next gen are both sort of resolution and frame rate. So the fact that this is all like silky smooth, look at that, is a key part of it. And
look at that baby Phoenix wandering around.
Look at him.
Silky smooth frame rate with his silky smooth baby face.
The key things for... I was reading a Digital Foundry article about Gears of War 5.
Oh, yeah.
Because those guys know their stuff. And the key things in Gears of War 5 are that it's now equivalent to running it on the PC at ultra settings at 4K at 60 frames per second. So it's the highest quality the game can look like running at 60 frames per second. So that's pretty impressive. They have, in addition, added more sort of reflections and things. So if you look at these kind of like metal bits, these sort of reflective things.
I see.
You can see
the sort of bluish reflectivity going on there.
You can
That's
see
new,
JD.
Is it?
Yeah, you can see JD reflected in things. So there's a lot more kind of reflective stuff. There's also volumetric lighting, which was part of PC
Over there,
Ultra.
that hologram looks pretty volumetric.
Look how volumetric all that lighting is.
So much volumetry.
And even over here on the spotlights, you can see the kind of that that sort of glow. So it's all kind of lighting changes, and then there are also additionally added details to the models and stuff. So if you look at on the back of JD, the kind of screws on the back of his armor that you can see there.
Now with smaller, better, harder, faster screws or something.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So
that's what she said.
So it's basically, it looks really pretty. I think Gears 5, of all the stuff I've played, Gears 5 is probably the best example of a sort of, showcase of the technology and things.
Okay.
Obviously, we are on YouTube. It looks better in person, but this is basically what it is.
Yeah, this is all through the lens of YouTube, which is obviously trying its best to compress and make tidy everything that goes through it. So it won't be a true representation. There's a question from Helvercat who says, can Doom be considered to be a holy game? I have no idea what you mean by holy game, but I have been playing some Doom Eternal on the Xbox Series X, and obviously it's not specifically for Xbox Series X, it's the older version, but it does have that auto HDR, the high dynamic range on it, I believe. And also the loading screens are just very, very short these days.
Yeah.
So good news.
That is the kind of thing that's sort of transformative about next gen. I think more so even than the graphics. We've had 4K games, we've even had 4K 60 games on the Xbox One X, but the loading is... I'm going to have to turn these notifications off because everyone wants to join a party.
No, leave them on. Let's have a party. Let's have an Xbox Series X party.
No.
Wait, no.
I'm going to turn my notifications off.
Mike's going to go deal with his notifications. I'm going to deal with the chat. Nate Skoronsky says, watching on my phone because I love watching you guys and don't care about 60 frames per second. Well, that's fine too. We're glad to have you, Nate.
Yeah.
Odysseus, I believe is how I'm going to pronounce that, says, I've just been given a new work laptop with a 4K screen.
Nice.
Legitimate business use, you say. Well done on you for having a work laptop with a 4K screen. When I think of some of the work laptops I've been given over the years, some of them were barely more than pocket calculators, that kind of a display. So good on you.
Yeah. Definitely.
And I hope you're getting the most out of it right now. Matthias Tillman says, oh no, buffering.
Oh, dear.
Sorry about that, Matthias. It is quite a lot to ask of your internet connection. So I guess your mileage may vary if you're watching the stream, if you're trying to watch it in its highest resolution. I personally don't do a lot of streaming in 4K because I don't think my internet would currently be up to it.
Yeah. Well, but it's I did get a few. Yeah, there was a few drop frames there, but it seems to have settled down again. Sorry about that. But yeah, I think it was me going in the menus that just freaked out.
Andy McPhee says this is the way back screws were meant to be experienced.
Exactly.
This is the true next gen experience. When they're like, but what is going to characterize the new generation of consoles? And last year it was last generation it was open worlds.
Yeah.
This year it's reflectivity and back screws. Yeah.
Cool. Should we head out? What do we need to do? I need to grab this gun, don't I? Basically.
You do a little bit. Chris Allen says join my party.
No.
No? You don't want to do some multiplayer?
No, I don't fancy it at the moment. Oh, I've got to equip an ability. Open the Jack menu. All right, fine. Jack menu.
There's a fair question here from Oliver Jobus who says, imagine getting a new console to play old games. Nonsense. It is hard to argue that the Xbox Series X exclusives are not just thin on the ground, but they are not on the ground.
Yeah,
so I was quite sad to receive an Xbox Series X. Not sad to receive the Xbox Series X, obviously, immensely grateful and humble to receive a new console. But there is a Master Chief on the box, and it was quite a sorry sight to see Master Chief and be like, see you in 2021, oh Master Chief, sir. So yeah, that's hard to argue that what we are going to be playing mostly today are Xbox Series X versions, improved versions, updated versions of games that you may well have seen with your eyeballs before today. Yep. Andrew Turner asks, do you think that the next Fallout will be optimized for the new Xbox?
Yes.
I mean, I really hope so. The next Fallout, yeah.
But they're not working on the next Fallout at the moment, are they? They're working on another Elder Scrolls, which will be, now that Bethesda are an Xbox game studio, the new Elder Scrolls will be working on Series X, Starfield as well, which is the other game.
Yeah, Starfield, the science fiction Bethesda game. So when the next Fallout comes out, probably in like 8 to 10 years, no, I'm just kidding, but not for a very long time, it will have to be Xbox Series X because that'll be the game then. That'll be the name of the game.
I would say they'll probably end up going back and doing some upgrades to, now that they're a Microsoft studio, they might go and upgrade Fallout 4, because they did it for Series
X. That was what I was thinking, yes.
Xbox One X, sorry. They added a 4K patch, so, you know, there you go.
Since that was the first, I think that was the first stumble on the name of this new console of the stream.
Everyone drink.
Everyone drink. Okay, drink every time someone makes a mistake on the
water,
Xbox Series X's name. Okay, so drink for now.
Yep.
But we've got to recap the Xbox Series X, which is this that you're playing on right now.
Yep.
The Xbox Series S.
Yes.
Now, explain to the nice people, Mike, what's Series S?
So Series S is, the idea behind Series S is that it can do all the things that Series X can do, but just not at 4K. So down at sort of lower resolutions like 1440p, which is still like, you know, crisp and looks very nice and things like that. But yeah, basically the idea is that rather than having, you know, the Xbox One X can do 4K 60, but at kind of lower graphical fidelity. The idea behind the Series S is you get the same graphical fidelity. The only difference is the resolution is lower, basically.
And is that the only difference?
That's the idea, yeah. In practice, we don't have one yet, so we can't tell you for sure. But I'm prepared to
What I want to say is a lot of people don't have 4K televisions yet, and may not acquire them soon. So that would be an option.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, I do think that if you buy a Series S, you know, I think eventually there will be games that don't run on it, that do run on a Series X. It is still somewhat less powerful, but fundamentally for the moment, and probably for the next couple of years at least, it will play, you know, Gears 5, for example, on those kind of ultra settings, but just not at
not at the full 4K resolution.
But they're aiming for the same frame
rates. It's a damn sight cheaper, I want to say.
250 quid or whatever?
£250 in the UK, so it is quite a lot less expensive if that's what you're in for. Oh, no disk drive, says Stevia. So let's not forget.
Yes. Yeah, that is a key thing as well. Although
disk drives still matter to some.
I've definitely made the full transition to digital, and I think also with Game Pass, like it's really easy to, you know, particularly if you're like brand new to Xbox entirely as a concept, it's really easy to switch to just playing Game Pass games, right? You know, you buy your Series S for 250 quid, you spend your 10 quid a month or whatever, and then you've just got a hard drive full of games. And
it's your fabled video game Netflix of Netflix of video games. That's true. I suspect there are people who aren't, for instance, games journalists who aren't receiving all their games in code form. There are some people still attached to discs and physical ownership and sharing discs, but that's less true now than it was when the Xbox One came out, which is when they first tried these shenanigans, and people weren't quite having it then. So maybe now it'll be more amicably received, I think. Yeah?
I wasn't listening to what Baird was saying, so I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do at this point. But,
are you supposed to be getting a briefing right now?
It feels like I'm supposed to be... here we go. I had to get into
cover. You do some actual gaming right now, and I'm going to look at the chat and see what everyone says. Yeah, because Fel says, please stop walking around and play this game, which I think is an entirely fair request. Dave Lizard says, who wants to buy digital only? Which, exactly to my point, not everyone is there yet, and you've got to allow for every variety of gamer. There were obviously lots of people back when the Xbox One tried to go discless and all digital, etc., who were like not into that at all, and there are still going to be people in that position. Mediocre Danny D says, but what of my lovely game shelves? Yeah, people still like to own physical things.
It's true.
Me, I don't have space for physical things anymore. I've been through this lockdown, I've been clearing out DVDs, Blu-rays, games. I just don't have space. Books are so bulky. So actually, I don't mind not owning a disc. In fact, Andy and I did a stream some months ago in which we were both flipping through our folders. Now, you're not into this, Mike.
No.
All of my games now, all my discs are in a big old folder of discs. And so are Andy's. And Mike is the last holdout against getting rid of your game boxes. And I know, sometimes game boxes are nice, but I need to physically exist in my home, and it's either me or the game boxes. One of us has to leave, so there we go.
Getting a few dropped frames, so I'm going to try and tweak the output a touch.
Frodo and haunted by a terrible ghost.
Yeah.
But I think what Frodo is getting at is, do you remember when they put PT out to download?
Yeah.
And then they took it away, and obviously it no longer exists, so you can no longer have it unless you've got it installed on your PlayStation hard drive and you protect it with your life. So it's a fair point. Like, do you want your game ownership to be in the hands in the control of someone who is not you, I suppose. That is a thing. Luke Rogerson says, I won't get the S because it would cost me more to make all my games digital than to just get a Series X. And most of my movies are on Blu-ray, and Xbox One is still the only Blu-ray player I have.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yes, if you're trying to recreate your collection, you want to like physically own, well, not physically own, you want to own for sure all of those games rather than own them in a sort of Game Pass type system, then yes, that would be still quite expensive.
Yeah. I'm just trying to sort out some technical issues.
Okay, Mike's going to do some technical support.
Yeah.
Where Rainbow Moon says, and Mike kills the stream.
Sorry, I killed it.
We haven't killed any locusts or lambents or whatever they're called these days in Gears, but we have killed the stream.
It should be back. It should be back, and it should be green at the moment. I think maybe the weak link was my internet there just freaked out.
I mean, there are so many opportunities for weak links when you're trying to get this much data.
Yeah.
You're just trying to pipe so much data out onto the internet all at once. This is really a first. We haven't really trialed this, everybody. You're looking at a live trial.
There's only so much testing you can do without just actually streaming something. So
it's like watching a NASA launch. Like,
it really is, yeah.
The best.
And just as honourable and noble as well. But it should be
as heroic as
it should be coming back through. I'm just going to double check on my phone that we're looking good. I also got a notification to flash the enemy, which I think means a different thing in America, maybe.
I think it's probably some kind of space splash grenade.
Yeah.
Luke G. Simmons says, hey, Xbox, I have the same glass with a brown soda and cherry flavour. Jane. Okay,
nice.
So apparently I'm drinking the same thing or from the same receptacle as Luke G. Simmons. Cheers to you, Luke.
Yeah.
And non-Xbox question, will it be Phasmophobia or Mungus tomorrow? Thank you for streams all week. So today is, as we all know, and I don't have to tell you, Thursday. Yeah. Definitely Thursday in this very weird, very wild week. Tomorrow is Friday. Streaming tomorrow. Wait, hang on. I've got a literal diary over here.
I don't think we are streaming tomorrow. I think we are skipping it because there is so much extra console stuff going on, isn't there?
I think we will be doing more Xbox Series X stuff, but not a stream is coming tomorrow.
There will be something Xbox Series X related. I think everything's green again, so I think I may have fixed the problem.
Green across the board. Yeah. We're 5x5 in the pipe, says Mike.
Yeah. Cool.
Chris Allen says, "Flash, Mike, flash."
I don't want to flash people.
Flash. Anthony Spicer says, "You can hardly tell you haven't tried this before." Hey, this year we're all trying new things.
We are, yeah. I used to have gigabit internet, Jane. It used to be the best thing ever.
Do you no longer have gigabit internet?
No, I don't. Sadly not.
Oh dear. Mike moved and gave up his precious gigabit internet.
Yeah, I know.
So,
what an idiot. What an absolute.
Is that a Blade Runner class? Asks Russell Lacqua. It isn't, but I know what you mean. That kind of angular Blade Runner. My good friend Julia Hardy has one of those glasses, and they are extremely cool.
They look like the sort of thing that Adam Jensen would drink whiskey out of, or something.
Yes, quite exactly. Right. Really interested in these new consoles, says Stanley. But we don't have Game Pass. I hope they make Game Pass in more countries like Netflix, because it's not everywhere.
Yeah, that's
a really great point. If you can't get Game Pass, all this Game Pass talk is completely useless to you. So, yes, good point there. We've all been banging on about the virtues and the values of Game Pass, and it is great value if you can access it, but that's no good to someone who cannot get hold of Game Pass. Ultimate X says, hi Jane and Mike, heard some PS5 games have had to make the trade-off between ray tracing and frames. Is that a thing for Xbox Series X? And then there are a bunch more X's, but I think they're Kiss X's, so that's very sweet.
I think, I don't know for sure about the technological thing, but I think there's always going to be a processing cost to ray tracing, right? I think there is sort of hardware in there that is designed to be able to handle ray tracing well, but I don't think that necessarily means it's just free. Do you know what I mean, in terms of a resource thing? So there may be games, that are having to strike a balance between, do we want to do the big lighting effects or do we want to aim for a locked sort of 60 frames per second? I don't know that there's a lot to choose between the two consoles, technology-wise. So I can imagine they're making the same choices with Xbox Series X games.
You're deep in the Digital Foundry content right now, Mike. I feel like you're trying to cosplay as Rich Ledbetter of our good friend Rich Ledbetter from the very excellent, much more technical site Digital Foundry, who do a fantastic job with this. Did you see, speaking of Digital Foundry, recently they put out a video about how The Witcher 3 loads so fast on the Xbox Series X that it basically looks a bit broken. Not in a terrible, fatal way.
I'm imagining Geralt spawns in nude and then his clothes have to catch up.
oh wait, I wasn't ready for this. Yeah. Just when the game runs so fast that it can't quite catch up with itself, and it was never intended to run quite so fast. Not to get real old school for a minute, but it makes me think a little bit about. Do you remember the Blade Runner game?
Yes.
And this is a real sidebar. This is a real detour. The Blade Runner game that I loved so much. And then when I tried to play it more recently, and not that recently, like 5-10 years ago, on a modern PC, because obviously it is a very, very, very old point-and-click adventure, it is impossible to play because the bad guys were limited only by the speed of your processor, and they had never envisaged computers being any faster than the
were at the time,
that were around at the time. And I love that old games being run on new machines and being more powerful than they can possibly imagine. So I love that stuff.
Everything was running really quickly. It's the same with, there's a game called Space Quest 4, and it's mostly a point-and-click adventure. Mostly runs fine, but there's this one bit where you're like in zero gravity trying to avoid someone, and they travel at the speed of light, basically.
I guess that's also a thing, that we're talking about point-and-click games that aren't designed around action. So if they do their action in a bit of a kludgy way, you can forgive them because that's not really what they're all about. Anyway, FBI agent in the comments says, "Hello Xbox. Can I join you for Among Us sometime? I love watching all your streams. Thank you for all the content. Love you all."
The problem with that is
we did guests in
the problem is we can't guarantee that you wouldn't do a lot of swears and things.
But they're an FBI agent. The FBI this
to swear.
FBI agent couldn't misrepresent the FBI like that. I feel like part of their
maybe we can make an exception for the FBI.
For the FBI. Okay, if you're an actual FBI agent, then definitely yes, we'll make that happen. Brackley Iqbal says, "Finally donating after years. You guys are great." Well, thank you very much indeed, Brackley. Hope you're having a nice afternoon. Or whatever it is where you are. Frodo Baggins says, "I prefer frames to graphics."
Okay.
I played Yakuza Kiwami last year, and there was a brief moment when it went from 60 to 30 frames per second, and it felt slow in 30 as a result. That's true, actually. 60 frames per second is as much about game feel as it is about game look, if you like, to coin the phrase.
It makes a big difference, like to stuff like Gears, which is a shooter. It makes a big difference to racing games. It makes a big difference to fighting games and things. So I think one thing we can all sort of celebrate about this generation is that frame rate has become the focus, because I don't think there's many people out there with 8K TVs. So 4K is already established via the sort of PS4 Pro and the Xbox One X. So now having the focus be on frame rates, I think, is good for everyone, because it doesn't matter if you're running on a 1080p screen. If you can run it at 60 frames per second locked, it just looks smooth and plays nice. And the thing about frame rates as well is that it makes games feel more responsive. If you look back to like Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, right? One of the reasons everyone thought that game felt so good is because they targeted 60 frames per second, so it just felt more responsive than other shooters at the time. And that's the great thing about frame rate, is that it just like elevates not just the visuals but also the feel of the game.
Right.
And actually, this game in particular, in campaign, it's 60 frames per second. If you play it in multiplayer, it will run at 120 frames per second at 4K.
Really?
Yeah, it's completely bonkers.
I've not played anything ever in 120 frames per second, and I can only imagine the difference. But surely it's not as stark as the difference between 30 and 60 frames a second.
No, it's definitely...
It must be a diminishing returns there. My human eyeball can only register so many frames per second.
Yeah, it is noticeable, but it's not the leap that 30 to 60 is.
It's not the quantum leap. Yeah. Anders Danielson says, "Jane, that's the reason why 286 PCs had a turbo button that actually halved the speed of the CPU, so our games would work."
But wait, the turbo button halved the speed of the CPU?
Yeah, that seems counterintuitive. Also,
wait, does it mean that if you turned the turbo button off, it would halve the speed of the CPU?
Oh, maybe. That would make the most sense.
Oh, guys, Crimson Skies just finished downloading.
Oh, no! Crimson Skies is ready! Now we got to play Crimson Skies!
We will play it at one point, because, Xbox Originals are in 4K as well.
Yeah.
And if we had HDR, we'd be able to show that as well. Was Gears 5 really this much about walking around a nice
I feel like you're not making loads of progress because you're having to split your attention.
Yeah,
so why don't you focus entirely on the game, and maybe we can go and shoot some G-Dang Locust Lambents or whatever they're called now.
Let's go do it.
And no longer the Locust, but they are quite Locust-like in Gears 5,
exactly
is what I remember. They're like a different colour now. Frodo Baggins and Shy Violet are talking about the weight of the Series X, and I can attest.
It's heavy.
I can't reach it from here.
It's like a collapsed star.
It's it's like a dying star, but kind of oblong and tall. It's Okay, let's talk about the form factor.
Okay.
It's tall.
Yes.
And square.
Yes.
So it's a big old rectangular box shape in a way that exactly won't fit any of the cubby holes in any of my like TV type units where I used to slide the PS4 and slide the Xbox One. It refuses to slide in anywhere.
Right.
So now I just have to have it sat next to my television in a way that really draws the eye because it's this big black box. But
it's monolithic. I think
I was talking about the change between generations of like form factors of shapes of consoles.
Yeah.
And essentially it needs to be a box that you can put components in. That you've got like memory and chips and whatnot and power and what inside. So it has to be a squarish volume of some dimensions, right? And they're usually flattish, squarish dimensions.
Yeah.
And they're like the only thing we haven't tried, the only dimension we haven't extended so far is tall.
Extruded.
So what if we extrude it in this dimension and made it completely hopeless at fitting in?
I mean, technically
anywhere.
you can. It's got little rubber feeties. You can technically. God, look at that lighting. Sorry, I was momentarily distracted by all that lighting. So much lighting going on. I think you can. It's got
Marcus,
little feeties.
everyone, drink for Marcus, by the way. Sorry,
you can put it on its side. But it's weird. Like
it still
looks...
slide in. I've got like, a narrow little cubby hole that I usually slide my consoles in so they can get nice and toasty in that little shelf.
Really heat themselves up, really barbecue themselves.
In that. Yeah, exactly, like a little shelf. And it won't fit in any of my shelves anymore, so I'm salty about that.
Oh no.
Also, like the vent, because there's like lots of vent holes, quite large vent holes on the top of the Xbox Series X. And heat rises. So there's got to be an advantage to having the vent on the top.
Yeah, I think that's the idea is that it's drawing cooler air down from below and pumping hotter air up.
Yeah.
So I definitely think it will work more efficiently if it's in the kind of upright position.
But
I'm going to have to rearrange my desk, at least now that we can actually show footage from a Series X.
Yes.
Like, I can just swap out the
that can be your main machine.
Because we've not been allowed to stream anything from it. So, like, I was playing Ghost Runner on Monday. I had to switch back into my One X so that I wasn't accidentally revealing some Series X gameplay.
Yeah, we've had them for a little while, but to get a little bit inside baseball, as it were, it's been quite difficult, quite complicated doing all the things that Xbox requires us to do, and understandably so, like justifiably so, but it has been quite complicated, the process, which is why we haven't been talking about it very much, because we haven't been allowed to, and also the rules around what we are and aren't allowed to say have been quite complicated. So we're just catching up now. So this is why we thought we'd anything. Reveal all the things that we can reveal.
I think it's to Microsoft's credit that they've gotten the console into people's hands early, and ahead of launch. But it has meant that all the developers are desperately trying to get their games sorted for launch and things like that. So there's been a lot of moving parts, a lot of like update patches and things like that. Some things we can't show you that we'd love to show you. Some things that we literally won't be ready until the 10th. So a lot of the update patches just aren't coming out until bang on the 10th. So
I think a lot of people being caught on the hop. It's been fun. It's been interesting.
Fascinating process watching changes to games like almost on a daily basis as patches get updated.
Yes,
and things.
I can only imagine the sort of mini crunch that comes of making a new game, but suddenly there's a new console coming out, and your not really very old game needs to adapt. Here's Khalid. Welcome, Khalid, new member on the channel. Welcome aboard. Thank you very much for joining us here today.
Do it. Go.
Thanks for joining us. Yeah.
Love Unit. Great name there. Well done. Congratulations, sir or ma'am. Hi, Jane and Mike. I know loading time is the star for this generation.
Yes.
How different are the graphics if played at 1080p? So I guess the question is the difference between 4K and 1080 to your eye.
I think stuff like the extra detail in the models and things, you'll still see that when you're close up like this. Those extra details on Dell there, like they will be visible at 1080p as well. So you do benefit from that. Obviously the lighting looks a lot better, and again you benefit from that. So I just think like actually resolution isn't top of the pops in terms of like this generation at all. And that's why the Xbox Series S makes sense if you only have a 1080p screen and have no intention of buying a new television. Then why not get a Series S? And you'll still get a lot of the graphical fidelity upgrades, the improved lighting, the improved shadows, things like that. But but you'll just be running it at 1080p. So I don't think resolution at this point is as important as frame rate. So and you get all the benefits of the SSD as well, so there's faster loading times, things like that. The one caveat is that I haven't been able to test this because I don't have a Series S, but my understanding is that the Series S will not run. If you're running an older game, an older Xbox game, a Series S will not run the Xbox One X version of the game. So any upgrades from there, like any upgrades that were part of a One X upgrade, will not be
right.
So I've yet to sort of investigate what that actually means, but it might be the case that you do lose out a little bit with some of your older games if you have a Series S compared to a Series S.
It makes it a much more complicated leap between generations because, of course, the Xbox. Okay, now get ready for some Galaxy Brain thinking on the Xbox names
right,
here.
Go on.
The Xbox One came out, obviously, but the Xbox One equivalent of the Xbox Series S.
Yes.
Did the Xbox, the Xbox One S didn't come out for a long time, right? So we had a sort of gradation of here's the new console and here's a new version of the new console.
Yes.
But now in the transition between Xbox One and Xbox Series Blur, we've got two variants, two flavors to contend with, both with quite different, with reasonably different technical capabilities. Yeah. So I think there's a lot more to wrestle with all at once rather than the more gradual introduction of the Xbox One variants.
Those, like I said, those sort of finer details about the kind of the different versions of previous Xbox One games. Anything new, anything that has had a Series X patch is also getting a patch for Series S as well.
Series
so
S,
you don't have to worry about that stuff there.
Yeah.
And I do kind of like that. The main difference is, either you get the 4K one for your 4K screen, or you get the one that runs at 1440p for your probably 1080p screen.
The discless one, but you do save £150. Yeah,
which is a not insignificant amount of money.
For sure, agree. CookieCat94 says, how do you feel about Hitman 3 having VR support? We feel pretty good about that.
Pretty excited,
Mike feels the most good about that, I think, because Mike actually has
owns a
the
VR
VR hardware required. I think Hitman 3 might be the tipping point at which I definitely have to invest. In fact, I've got a PC that's up to it now, so maybe I'll buy myself for Christmas some nice VR hardware. Or maybe I'll ask Santa for some VR hardware.
Gosh, what is going on here?
Santa's up for it. Oh, it's Locust Lambents, or whatever we're calling them now. You deal with the Locust Lambents. I'm going to talk about Hitman 3 some more.
Go for it.
Hitman 3 looks bloody gorgeous, and I cannot wait for Hitman 3. We've seen the sort of Dubai luxury hotel level so far, and it is exactly the living holiday brochure that I crave and need right now.
Hitman was all about travel, wasn't it?
Yes.
It's even more so than ever. Being able to travel in a video game is so important.
Yes. Also, and I feel I don't know if it was in poor taste exactly, but I did see a BBC News story that was Russian oligarch killed with a crossbow in a sauna. I saw a bunch of games folks going
sounds like
this should be a
47.
simple 147, and I'm I don't know anything about that Russian oligarch, so I don't know how dark or unfortunate that is.
No.
But it was a pretty funny take.
Yes.
At least in the game's
black comedy,
context
I think they
there.
call it.
Yes, there we go. Very bleak, very dark. Mad Mill says, "Oh my God, I almost forgot. Will we get to see Hitman 3 in VR? If you mean on the channel, then yes, we will do our absolute utmost. In fact, Mike says yes, so now that's a yes.
Yep.
We will play Hitman 3 in VR on the channel. We'll find a way to make it happen.
Mm-hmm.
Our good friend Ian Higton over at Eurogamer is really at streaming in VR and recording in VR. We haven't done a lot of it ourselves. We have done some. I feel like we could consult him and his expertise on making VR happen for Hitman.
Yeah.
I think that would be very lovely.
One weird thing I did see was that, if you want to play... I don't know how true this is, but I saw a headline saying if you want to play Hitman 3 on PSVR, you need the PS4 version of the game, even if you're playing it on PS5.
On a PS5.
Which is just bizarre to me.
So maybe they've only designed the VR support for the older console? That seems odd.
I feel like they don't seem to have sorted out VR on
PS5.
PS5 yet.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff to take care of when you're launching a new console. Maybe VR has taken a little bit of a backseat because it's not the flavour of the month as much as it was a little while ago.
I do think that, you know, PSVR struggles even on PS4 Pro with just the amount of processing power required to make it look nice. And I think, you know, being able to use your PSVR headset on a PS5 would be great. Like, it would, you know, increase the longevity of that hardware quite a lot, I think, probably. So.
What would the effective resolution we're talking about be if you were playing Hitman 3 in VR?
I mean, it depends. On a PC, massive, like enormous.
But I wonder on consoles,
on PSVR, I think it's like it's probably like 900p but wider or something like that. So.
Okay, interesting.
Oh,
I mean, resolution is a different discussion again when you're talking about VR, because actually the sense of immersion really is very flattering. Yeah, it really trumps the idea of high resolution, which is weird because you think resolution would be very important to the sense of reality and immersion, because obviously the real world doesn't have resolution. But there you go.
Look at all this. There's so much lighting and reflectioning going on here.
So much
reflections in the pool of blood.
Fires.
Fires everywhere.
The volumetrics on that.
Yeah.
Wow, look at volumetrics out the wazoo.
Yeah. There you go. It's a very pretty game.
Like, who put that Lambent on a wooden spike?
I think he must have fallen from through the floor.
That was very unfortunate for that guy to land.
Well, it's like, do you remember when we played Little Hope?
It is a bit like that guy that dies in Little Hope. That Lambent was the hero of its own story, and that's where its story ended. Bradley Thomas asks, will we get another 6-hour launch day live stream? # pray for Andy. Andy, oh yeah, the elephant in the room, or the lack of Andy in the room, is that Andy is taking a much deserved break right now. In fact, I mean, his break is coming to an end because, as you well might know, if you're here in the UK, we are just now entering lockdown 2.0, which is our second phase of quite stringent stay-at-home quarantine type restrictions. So before that happened, Andy was getting himself in a little break. So he will be back imminently.
Back on Monday, right?
He's back on Monday, but yeah, that's where Andy is right now.
But he also has a Series X, so he may have spent his entire holiday just playing Series X.
Andy is our Yakuza guy. I'm very excited to play Yakuza Like a Dragon, and I know Andy has already, I think, been playing it, so he'll have a lot to say about Yakuza Like a Dragon when he comes back. To your question, Bradley Thomas, about a 6-hour launch day live stream,
we're not going to go that long, I don't think. We will be streaming on launch day, I think. But
yes, on launch day on the 10th, we will be streaming again, so it's going to be a more staggered experience. I remember, so Bradley Thomas there is asking, here's a deep cut for you newbies. If you've only been with the channel for 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 years, that makes sense. When Xbox One came out on launch day for Xbox One, and it was very hard for us to get hold of an Xbox that early, an Xbox One on launch day back in the day. So we've come so far. I'm so proud of us. Back in the day when Xbox One came out, we streamed for about 6 hours.
Yeah.
We played every game on Xbox One. So that was Dead Rising 4, it was Zoo Tycoon, Rise Son of Rome. God, imagine that. Hey! No, it was pretty bad.
But that was 7 years ago, right? That was 2013.
That was 7 years. Thing on the channel up to that point. That might have been the first ever stream.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, streaming was like nascent for us, but also like I think for YouTube as well. They hadn't really gotten it all working properly, so it was such a faff. I mean, we're only
YouTube actually helped us do that stream because YouTube was like, we don't know streaming yet, and we're like, great, because we don't know streaming yet either. So we streamed for 6 hours. It was an experience. We had Grainborn, Mr. X stuff, and we had my friend Julia Hardy was there. It was quite the experience. It was pretty grueling.
Yeah, it took a lot.
You can still watch it. You can still watch Baby Us 7 years ago.
Yeah.
The Baby Xboxes.
It's the longest video on the channel, isn't it?
Rise, Son of Rome. Wow. Good times, high times.
But yes, we're not going to be going for 6 hours today, and we're not going to do a 6-hour launch live stream, but we will play some things on.
We will probably cumulatively play more than that, but not all at once.
Yeah, and there will be videos like Let's Plays and things, and all sorts of other stuff, list videos and things about Series X coming up. So this is just your first taster, really, and a chance for us to answer your questions about the console.
Gentle Mandrill says, I got me the Series S as my first Xbox, since it's very affordable, while I get the PS5 as my main console, since the PlayStation has always been my main console. Fair. That's interesting.
Yeah.
That is interesting. So your very first Xbox, then?
Well, and also affordable enough, clearly, that you're able to buy 2 consoles this Christmas. So that's pretty good. Yeah, I guess maybe that's what Microsoft are hoping, is that, all right, I feel like, oh gosh, I've been sniped.
Oh, okay.
I feel like...
You focus on staying alive, but also answer the question. This is hard mode. Oh no, there's a laser sight! There's a laser sight!
They're everywhere.
Right! This is the worst possible time to answer a question about consumer issues in the next generation of consoles.
I feel like the PlayStation 5 is going to win like launch of this generation. Like, I think it's pre-ordered better. I think it's probably going to sell better. But maybe Microsoft is betting on the fact that, like, actually, if you release a really cheap Xbox, like, maybe people will go for both in a way.
Take a punt on it.
Hadn't
in fact, that's quite a good position to be in. If you've never owned an Xbox before, then obviously you're not like, oh, I've already played all the Xbox One games, I've played all the Halos, I've played all the Forzas, etc., etc. If you've never owned an Xbox and you buy an Xbox Series S and say Game Pass, where all of those games will be included, it might be a good way to catch up on a very lot of games all at once. So,
I mean, like, for example, Gears 5, I don't know a lot of people who bought Gears 5, but it's on Game Pass. Like, if you have Game Pass,
exactly.
You can download currently the best looking Series X game for free. So, or for £10 a month, I suppose. It's not strictly free, but it feels free. Once you've paid your subscription, it feels like free games.
And before we give Xbox Series X too easy a ride, I'm a little bit low-key sad that there isn't a new game that I am. I mean, I'm excited about Yakuza Like a Dragon, but
it's all third-party stuff, isn't it? It's like Cyberpunk will be the big thing.
I mean, and that's it. And obviously, with the delay to Cyberpunk, we're not looking at Cyberpunk coming out
for a while.
Straight away.
December 10th, I think it's.
Exactly, December 10th. So it's not with us for another month or so. So it's a little bit melancholy for me to have the new Xbox out and not a game that I am just desperate, like champing at the bit to play on day one.
It's not unfair to say that is an area where Sony has smashed it in terms of its console launch, is that Demon's Souls looks amazing, Spider-Man Miles Morales looks amazing. Like, fair play. They've got a couple of proper next-gen looking games available to play, whereas, you know, Gears of War, it might be new to you because you probably didn't play it the first time around, but it doesn't feel as special because it's not.
Do you mean Gears 5?
Sorry, Gears 5, yes. Sorry.
Yeah, because no one played Gears 5, even though it's actually quite good.
It's all right, it's not bad.
We were playing Gears 5 when it came out, and there's an extended like Gears 4.
Oh yeah, the Gears
summary, like synopsis, and it's almost like the game saying, "Look, we know none of you MFers played Gears 4, even though that was pretty good. So here's what happened."
I did
tough.
Play Gears 4, but for the exact same reason I'm going to play Gears 5, which is that I had a brand new Xbox. In that case, it was the One X. And I wanted to play through it in 4K and fancy graphics and things. But I'm not a huge Gears fan, really, to be honest. I'm not that bothered about it. But I will play this one just because it looks so nice.
You're a strange bird to be an Xbox aficionado, because I guess you love Forza, but Halo's not really your bag, and Gears not exactly your bag either.
But yeah, it's, the exclusives don't really do it for me, which is why actually I think this is the console for me, because, you know, ultimately, like, it's more about having a holistic game collection and, you know, and everything being integrated and all my old games mashing with all my new games as well.
That's all well and good, and it is true, and I absolutely concur. But obviously, what gets you like sexy headlines is really exclusives on launch day, which we can't have. Kamuru Tetsu says, "Can't wait for the medium. Looks good." Actually, I saw a little bit more of the medium just
cool.
the other day, and I think I'm very excited for that. Bloober Team. Keep your eye on Bloober Team. So Bloober Team is the developer behind
Blair Witch
most recently, but also older still, Layers of Fear, and what was the Cyberpunk one?
Observer System, something or other.
Observer something. And they've just been quietly getting better and better, and just really racking up the experience of making horror games and getting bigger budgets. And
the medium looks like it might be their breakout. Like, wow,
I think so. I think they're one to watch, definitely. And they've got the composer, the Silent Hill composer in there. It's going to be hella spooky. It's going to be a great horror game coming out soon. Not soon, but soon enough.
I think in the next few months, like January.
Yeah, exactly. Good times. Play Forza, says Capalot. It might be time.
Shall I switch to Forza?
I think it's time. I think Capalot says play Forza.
Okay.
It's time to play Forza. Or Crimson Skies.
Or Crimson Skies.
One or the other.
Yeah, Forza has had an upgrade to 60 frames per second. So it was previously 4K 30 on One X.
Okay.
It's now 4K 60. I think there might be some little graphical fancies in there as well, but we'll find out.
More hot air balloons.
So many hot air balloons.
Crammed
the sky
into the
filled
sky.
with hot air balloons.
That's what the next gen means. Back screws and hot air balloons.
There we go.
Okay, here we go. I want to see that upholstery. Show me the next gen
All right,
upholstery.
I'll see if I can show you the next gen upholstery. But yeah. This is another Microsoft game that has received a little update. Another one is Sea of Thieves. So that's gotten a Series X patch as well.
Yeah. Proxicus says, looking forward to playing Assassin's Creed Valhalla on day one. And also Ian Carter says, Valhalla will look amazing on this. You can't actually, right now, I believe, Mike, you've got a code for Valhalla, but we can't show you any.
Yeah, well, it doesn't.
Not actually,
my code doesn't even work yet. It won't,
right now.
It won't run until Wednesday.
Yeah, they haven't let it out into the wild for reals. Craig Dos Santos says, I have to go to work. Should I? Do I need job? Bed comfy, enjoying stream, need advice. Well, Craig.
I couldn't possibly say quit your job and just hang out and watch stuff.
It's hard to know without knowing you properly, Craig, and God willing one day we will, whether you need the job.
Yeah.
I mean, most of us do, so the chances are quite high that you do need the job, but I do sympathise with bed being comfy. In these troubled times,
bed being comfy.
Bed is comfy. Bed is good. Anyway, I'm glad you enjoyed the stream, Craig. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. I hope your day goes well. If and when you do decide to get out of your bed. What's Computer Vision, Mike?
Some old company. This is my favourite rally car of all time. Sorry.
So is this like an age-appropriate sponsor on the back of this car?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's a real-life sponsor for this car.
Oh, wait, hang on. I'm going to Google Computer Vision and find out if they are still a thing.
I do not think they are still a thing.
Oh no! But if they were a thing, would they have to be paying for this product placement, or would Xbox have to be paying them for this product?
Well, this is a custom paint job, I think, for this car in the game.
Oh, so this isn't something that came in the game. This is something you've downloaded.
Yeah. Computer
Vision was an early pioneer in computer-aided design and manufacturing, founded in 1969
CAD-CAM
in Massachusetts. Okay. Are they still around?
Hell no.
In 1998, Parametric Technology Corporation acquired Computer Vision. There we go. We've all learned something.
Look, there I am driving my.
There you are. So this
car.
is your This is Mike Channel's favourite rally car. Is that right?
Yeah, it's a Metro 6R4. Do you remember the mini Metro or the Rover Metro as well? It's one of those, but with a massive V6 engine in it.
A souped-up V6 engine.
Well, it looks so
mini
ridiculous.
Metro.
Yeah, it's got like.
It's adorable. It's like a toy car with a little spoiler on the back.
It's got little, very very short wheelbase. Kind of cute.
Is that spoiler like purely vanity?
No, it does provide a little bit of downforce, but they didn't. I mean, it's from 1986, so
right.
I think understanding of aerodynamics has improved a lot.
We didn't know what downforce was.
But yeah, it helps a bit. I mean, you need all the help you can get when you're driving a Metro
when you're going
at
this
200 miles an hour.
On the whereabouts in the UK right now? In
I think we're up in Scotland actually.
I mean, it looks snowy. Is this so? You're in the winter phase of the game right now. And remind me, how often does it phase through the seasons?
Every week.
Every week. So we're in the winter week here. Yeah. Okay. CookieCat94 says, who else remembers when 360p was an amazing resolution?
I do. I'm old enough.
I sort of do. I sort of remember my first digital camera probably being lower resolution than that even.
The first one, I remember it where it was a big deal was like 800 by 600 on old PC games where you're like, oh my god, these things look
Too
amazing.
Many.
And now you look at 800 by 600.
An affront to nature.
Yeah.
This was never intended, these many pixels.
But yeah, that was the big one. I remember playing like Duke Nukem 3D in 800.
I read an interesting. I read a take on Twitter, and the Twitterer escapes me right now. So I'm sorry if it was you and you're watching. Probably not. But someone was making a point about during the last generation transition, if you were playing a new HD game on an older TV.
Yes.
Which you might be, which was as a pre-HD television, then there were like menus you couldn't read. Yeah. There were, in some ways it really affected the usability.
Yeah.
And there was an interesting question over what will we see in the transition now that might be, analogous to that, something that's designed for 4K. Because obviously game developers want to see their game in the best possible display, and so maybe you don't, QA test in every possible variant of display.
In theory, you could buy a You could buy a Series X and plug it into a 720p TV. Like, you can do that.
That's what we should do. That's our Digital Foundry scoop, Mike.
The frame rates would be amazing. But yeah, you might find some stuff that is just completely illegible.
That's what we should be doing. Let's talk to Ridge Ledbetter over at the wonderful Digital Foundry and ask him what happens if you plug an Xbox Series X
into a 720p screen.
Into a crappy 720 or like a CRT.
I bet Ridge Ledbetter refuses to touch a 720p screen.
No, do you remember when they did a video recently about what game were they playing on a CRT and it looked
it was Control. Amazing. It looked
Control
astonishing.
On a CRT.
It was on it was on like a broadcast grade, like HD CRT.
A fabulous CRT, but a very old TV nonetheless, and it looked ethereally good.
Yeah.
For technical reasons that we won't and can't get into.
But it sounds mad to be like, you could buy a Series X and plug it into your 720p TV. Yeah. But like, I don't know about you, but when I first had an Xbox 360, I did not have an HD TV.
Yeah, right.
I played the original BioShock in standard definition on a 4:3 screen.
Yes, I've been there. Okay, so this wasn't at the switchover of generations. This was much later, but I remember going home for Christmas one year with my Xbox 360, and obviously my parents didn't have a HD TV at that point. Mm-hmm. And I remember it was a decent TV. It was large-ish, but not fully HD. And I remember playing Mass Effect 1 on a non-HD screen, and you had to like really squint to see some of that very fine text menu stuff. So
good times.
Good times. What a great time to be alive.
The thing is, I'd love a CRT now for playing like old retro games. I've gone beyond, and now I'm like, I'd love to have
no, you've come full circle. See, technology is cyclical, so if you just hang around long enough, we'll all be back on CRTs.
Playing Etch-a-Sketches and things like that.
Oh, Hal Leo in the comments says a crappy 720p TV in quote marks, and I'm sorry if I just said that because obviously I did not mean to imply that is not good enough. In fact, I can reach out my hand here, and you won't be able to see it on the screen, but I'm touching a 720p TV right now that I have not been able, I haven't had the heart to get rid of because it's actually fine. Like, it's absolutely fine. I was using it until very recently, and it hasn't broken. It is still in perfectly good working order, and I'm just trying to find a good home for it. So, like, no, absolutely, I will not stand by my perhaps comment of crappy 720 because I'm literally sat next to one. And it is still very fine and in very good working order. Stephen Robson says, nearly completed Control, really enjoying it. I have also nearly completed Control, and I really need to get into that Alan Wake DLC, the AWE DLC. Maybe that's what I should stream next. Possibly.
Are they patching Control?
That's a great question.
They're not, are they? They're doing a definitive edition that is not a free upgrade.
No,
with some extra DLC.
Boo.
Which
Control
is like
edition.
Everything we feared.
That's the worst outcome, isn't it? Ultimate Edition, it's called.
Oh no, I remembered there was something to do with Control and patches and things, but it's bad news.
You hate to see it.
You do.
That's not it, Chief. We don't want that at all. I'm a Remedy. I love Control, but that's a hard sell, isn't it?
Like, it won't be Remedy's decision. It'll be 5 or 5 games.
Maybe there's something else in Ultimate Edition that I'm missing. I guess if it comes bundled with all the DLC, I actually haven't bought the DLC yet.
It comes with a substantial piece of new DLC, as far as I understand it. So they're trying to justify it as a sort of almost new game.
Here's a question from Will Sawyer. Has Mike got streamer mode on? Make sure you don't get a copyright strike. Are you streaming licensed music onto the internet right now, Mike channel?
Don't know, maybe.
Let's find out.
That's a good point, yeah.
Let's find out if we're being copyright struck imminently. So if you're not au fait with the intricacies of copyright strikes and YouTube and Content ID, if we're streaming licensed music, such as there is in Forza Horizon 4, onto the internet, then whoever is behind that music will be like, money please. Rightfully so. It's their music. And so there is a streamer mode that's like, please don't do that. Please don't.
I definitely used to have it on, but obviously, I don't know, not anymore.
Thank you very much, Will.
Thanks for the heads up
there. We appreciate you and all you do for us, Hive Mind, and particularly Will. Sam Animate says, Team Ox, thank you for all of your hard work. I had surgery 6 weeks ago, and your beautiful faces and streams got me through all of the long days. Here's a donation towards lunch. What's everyone's favourite sandwich? Love you all. Ooh. Well, Sam, I hope you are feeling good and right.
Your recovery is going well.
6 weeks from that surgery. I hope your recovery is going well, and thank you for calling us beautiful, even when we are haggard by long days, long nights, console launches, 2020 all round. We appreciate you so much. Favourite sandwich?
Club sandwich, please.
It's the hardest question I've ever had all day.
Chicken, bacon and mayo.
I'm only interested in the club sandwich if it's like hotel room service.
Yes.
That's the only time I will contemplate that.
I don't know if they exist outside of that world.
No, exactly. And I haven't been in a hotel all of 2020, so that seems very exotic and wonderful now.
Doing a big power slide round
Maybe like a goat's cheese honey walnut sandwich. That sounds quite good.
That sounds classy.
Yeah, it does sound classy.
It's a real Marks and Spencer Waitrose kind of thing.
I was thinking of Christmas sandwiches. I don't know if this is a tradition in the States, if you're in the States, or in any other country other than the UK, but they do these like seasonal Christmas sandwiches in all the main sandwich purveyors over here in the UK, so Marks and Spencer's and Sainsbury's and whatever, where you get basically like an abridged Christmas dinner. Yes. In a sandwich, so like turkey and stuffing and cranberry and all the rest of it in a sandwich, and that's good for novelty value.
Yeah, particularly if you're like, I mean, back when we were all going to offices and things, you know, if you're getting your office lunch and you're feeling festive, it's really nice to have.
You're like, I would much rather be at home doing festive things.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
What can I do in the office that is a sad imitation of Christmas?
It'll be like a festive party in my mouth.
We haven't been, speaking of offices, we haven't been to our normal studio and office.
Not in a billion years.
Not in a million years, which is normally down in Brighton. I'm sad about that. I like our office. I miss it.
Yeah.
I occasionally get emails about posts that's waiting for me there because the PR hasn't realised that I won't be there to collect my post. So we're going to go there and there'll be a pile of things.
A post drift.
Yeah. Morton Nielsen says, I saw Microsoft join forces with Bang & Olufsen to bring high-end sound quality to the Xbox Series S. Drink for name confusion, sorry.
Yeah.
Do you know more about this, Mike? Bang & Olufsen joining in forces?
I've not heard about the deal, but what I do know is that you can, there's a Dolby Atmos app that you can download and sort of buy.
Oh no, that was a head-on.
Yeah, it really was. From what I know about this rally car, there's no way it would have survived an impact with.
No, it'd be in pieces right now. Yeah, you would be sat on the road in a chair,
spinning around.
With the car collapsed around you.
The Dolby Atmos app is actually supposed to be really good and adds, particularly for headphone stuff, it adds.
So what does it give you? Fine control over the sound settings?
It's like spatial, like 3D audio.
Oh, like binaural sound or something.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it's that sort of thing, but as an app that will.
I'm going to look that up because I haven't heard about the Bang & Olufsen thing. I would be amazed if there were like Bang & Olufsen high-end speakers. That would be amazing. Bang & Olufsen makes some really wild, good-looking stuff.
Yeah, they do.
Extremely expensive, obviously. Bang & Olufsen partners with Xbox for Series X high-end audio products. Oh yeah, so they are actually dedicated audio products.
Nice. Like a sound bar would be good and stuff like that, wouldn't it?
I'm looking at them right now. Well, when I say I'm looking at them, I'm looking at very like arty shots of close-ups of like copper and black products. So I'm going to have a proper look at them later. But I bet they cost a fortune and I bet they look very lovely.
Has this person just crashed off the road?
I don't know. You should probably get out and help them. Maybe they're stuck in the snow.
No, I'm going to do a sick donut near them.
Wait, is that another player?
No, I think it's just an AI car.
Just an AI. Maybe it's my driver tar. Do you remember driver tars?
Oh, yeah.
Are there driver tars in Forza Horizon 4?
Yeah. We might come across you.
I occasionally get messages from people on Twitter
saying your driver tar menaced me off the road.
Yeah, my driver tar is an absolute monster,
Savage.
A beast of a driver, and I think it's because I don't play. Obviously, it's not super my bag.
Yeah.
I don't play lots of Forza, but when I do, it's usually for streams or during the Xbox One. Yeah, would we have been placing? Was it a launch game? It must have been a launch game. It was a Forza at launch.
Yeah, it was. It was Forza 5. Yeah, we played
Forza 5. Yeah. So I think my driver tar has been programmed by the very few handful of occasions when we've been playing a Forza game
to ram everyone off the road.
And as a result, she's very, very idiosyncratic as a driver tar. And so, yeah, if you encounter Jane's driver tar anywhere in Forza, then run fast. Turn your car in the other direction and run away, because she is a nightmare.
I'm just looking at this. I'm pretty sure we've got like further draw distances than we previously had in this game.
Oh yeah, you can see all the way to Dover or something.
Yeah, I can see all the way over out to those islands and stuff. So.
Okay, so what if you can you find us like a really high viewpoint, perhaps?
Yeah. Point it at a mountain and drive up. The top.
Do you know, obviously, the UK is in Forza Horizon 4, and it's like a condensed, abridged version of the UK.
So what you want to know is if you can see all the way to the bottom of the UK from a...
I wonder if you could see across the entire country. That would be hilarious. Well, although this is Not the best weather conditions for seeing all the way across the country.
But it looks like all the mountains are sort of this way. It looks like over here is...
Let's go take it up a mountain and see what we can see. Maybe when the sun comes up, because it's coming into nightfall.
It's a very nice purpley nightfall.
Yep. Ryan O'Leary says, so Bang & Olufsen speakers that are presumably just aesthetically matched to the Series X. I'm going to guess that there's quite a lot of that going on as well.
Probably.
Like the collaboration between Bang & Olufsen and Xbox may have been aesthetic.
But you know, one of the things the Series X does not have is a optical out thing for like audio equipment.
Oh, for audio files with optical out.
So like my One X, I tend to have plugged into an optical out thing, but I can't do that with the Series X. So I need to come up with another solution to use my nice speakers and things.
Oh, okay.
So that's I guess a thing. It wasn't a question answered, but it's a thing you might want to know.
Interesting.
About the Series X
no optical out on the Series X. That is interesting. Maybe is there any way to adapt that?
I think you'd need some bit of kit that plugs in via USB.
Bit of kit. That sounds like a nightmare.
Yeah.
Okay. Samey74 says, have Jane's Drivatar in my games and she is a menace. I love that she's out there just wrecking tearing up the road.
So if you come across Jane's Drivatar in Forza, you can recruit her as part of your team.
Yeah.
So then you'll run into her much more frequently. So.
I think to make that happen, you just have to follow my gamer tag, which is Miss Deeds, Space Deeds. And I think in that case,
they
might populate my Drivatar into your game. So yeah, if you want to meet the menace that is my alternative ego, my evil twin driver, do that. Shy Violet says, off-roading, yay!
Yeah.
Oh no, here's the flip!
It's fine.
Here's the flip!
It's fine.
You're on the roof! Oh no, you're rolling down the hill!
Fine, we got it.
Oh, it's fine. Such a tough little rally car.
It is, yeah. It's adorable. Yeah, I assume I can get up this mountain over here. It looks pretty high, though.
Can we not just, like, airlift you in on top of, like, Mount Snowdon or something like that?
I guess, in theory, we could. Let's see where we are on the map. Yeah, I think this is the highest bit, isn't it? It's round here. Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see if we can see Edinburgh, for example.
Yeah. Let's see how far we can see from the top of that mountain. Frodo Baggins says, mind the tree, Mike. Laugh my ass off. And Shy Violet says, every time Mike crashes into a tree, I flinch. Well, sorry about that, Shy Violet, because there's quite a lot of crashing going on.
Ultimate Wreckage is an award I just got.
Ninja Snowman says, what if Jane's Drivatar escapes from the Xbox? That's the Netflix horror film I want to see. It's like that horror movie Duel, or Christine about the evil car. Yes, no, it's much more like Stephen King's Christine. Jane's Drivatar escapes into the real world.
Okay, I can't get up this mountain. No! But what I can do is probably, there's the viaduct, isn't there? You can definitely get up to where the viaduct is. And in fact, in fact, I think up here is quite high as well. So
all right, let's go and see what we can see. Also, we need the sun to come up because we can't really see anything right now.
I see a lot of glistening snow though, which looks very pretty.
Daniel asked, "Is this Forza 4?" It's Forza Horizon 4.
Forza Horizon 4, yeah.
So it's the open world one, the more fun one, the less serious.
Although we're not getting drop frames, I do think we're not getting all the frames that are available through the thing. So sorry about that. But
so frame rate is not representative.
Yeah, it's a bit smoother than this.
Because streaming.
Because streaming and technology and all sorts of stuff. But yeah.
Okay. Cool. Drink for tree crash, says Kino Legaspi.
No,
I'll do that.
I've
still got drink left. Yeah.
Alright, I'm going up that big mountain.
You do that.
Avoiding
Watch out for trees. Shy Violet would like you to avoid trees, please.
Oh, it's like a lot of this sort of scenery in Forza Horizon 4 reminds me of like being at home in Yorkshire.
For Christmas.
And just knowing that I'm not going to be at home for Christmas probably, I can't imagine the lockdown stuff is going to be used that much for Christmas, so makes me a bit sad. Oh, my spoilers come off.
Oh, there's another reflip. I'm seeing a bunch of comments. Thank you everyone for your comments saying that maybe the frame rate's lagging a bit, and I think the audio is a little choppy.
Right.
So I think this might be possibly an internet issue. I'm
not getting any dropped frames, so in theory that should be fine. But yeah, I think it's the game audio is probably a bit choppy. I think it's I might restart the game video stuff. The sun is rising, so I'll park up and then we'll we'll do a cheeky reset of the game video stuff. And
LTW0303 asks, when do you think gaming monitors will catch up to next gen 4K 120 Hz? I mean, That's
soon.
a thing. That is a thing.
There's not a lot of them out because they need HDMI 2.1, which is the thing that allows you to. It's the thing that allows you to transfer that much data, so enough data to get 4K 60 working.
You need a bigger pipe, so to speak.
Basically, yeah. Let me just restart this.
They are going to be expensive, I'll tell you that much, right? So
there's a couple of companies that are doing them.
Yes.
And I think here we go. Is that working? Still a little bit. Oh no, it's a bit smoother. There we go. There are a couple of companies doing them. There's one that's a sort of not crowd-funded, but sort of crowd-sourced monitor where they asked a bunch of gamers what features and things they wanted, and they're putting them
Is it made by gamers for gamers?
It's that sort of thing. I think it's called Eve or something like that.
Okay.
Eve thing. Hold on.
Benny V909 says, I hope the Indomitable Snowman is up there. That'd be a great Easter egg. Well, imagine if we were the ones to discover it as well.
Yeah, Eve Devices. The Eve Spectrum is the first ever crowd-developed monitor. Every detail is discussed, debated, and decided on by the Eve community. Over 7,000 people. Yeah, I think the frame rate's a bit better now, so I feel like it's reset it. Although
it's hard to know, isn't it, when we're just stationary parked on top of a mountain? But we will see. PSX111, so 13, I guess, says, it's laggy much worse now than 5 minutes ago, so we may have acquired somehow, accumulated.
I think we have, but I think if we, it's smooth. It's a bit smoother than it was previously. So,
yeah.
Yep, it's a technical challenge, but
yes. Eve Spectrum says Wicked Ribbon and Silent Shark, like you say. So the Eve Spectrum, there you go. I suppose we could check that out. How much would an Eve Spectrum set you back?
I don't think they've announced the price. I think there's like an early bird price.
They're just feeling it out right now.
But that is one of your many options. There are some LG TVs that do it now as well. So yeah, okay.
Spectrum, more power, no compromise. 27-inch, so it's not gigantic.
Yeah, but that's
obviously
that's kind of cool. If you get it
like
down to a smaller size, it means it's just crisper, basically.
Yes, of course.
And you can sit closer to it.
Yes, quite. Especially if you're going to have it on a desk. It's not like a TV, isn't it? So
I think I've confused my monitor now. That's,
Sam Dilk says, "Oh yeah, frame rate is much better." So I think we have. Improved it.
I think after
Eric
a while,
Lovecastle says, "All them damn trees was lagging you, man."
Probably. But there you go. There's a sunrise over Edinburgh, I guess. I'm just going to go and inspect the back of my monitor for a moment.
All right, Mike's going to go and kick the cables on the back of his monitor. I am going to talk to you over this lovely sunrise. So imagine it's ASMR. My voice is the least ASMR-y of all time. It's just me and Mike's gaming chair now. Me, you, this snowy sunrise, and Mike's gaming chair while Mike goes to the back of his PC to see if maybe a cable has fallen out. What if we're streaming over Wi-Fi right now? What if we're trying to stream 4K, 60 frames a second over Wi-Fi? Oh no! My picture is... Oh, look at that! I think something has happened, Mike, because I'm now in a letterbox.
Wow, sorry.
What's going on? I've been squeezed into a letterbox space here.
I'm sorry.
That's fine. Mike, you do what you've got to do. I'm going to answer some questions over here in the chat. Evie Fall says, "Ugh, I want to live there so much." I have some friends up in Edinburgh. Brag, I know, but also she's posting some lovely photos from up in Edinburgh right now. So that would be a nice place to be in lockdown. I mean, nowhere's a nice place to be in lockdown, but at least there's some nice scenery to go walking in.
Sorry. Can't believe my monitor got confused by it as well. But anyway, we're back now, as far as I can tell.
Was anything wrong back behind your PC?
I just my monitor stopped working. I think it got confused by all the different inputs and stuff. But
interesting.
Anyway.
I think you need Spectrum probably.
It's I think an upgrade is definitely in order. But there you go. Good view distance. We can see there's the rail bridge. Stuff. There's bits of Edinburgh.
It's quite misty, so it's hard to know if that's the...
We want to be looking south, though, don't we, really?
The limit
south
of our...
is where we...
Yeah, I want to see the White Cliffs of Dover or something. Never mind that they would be beyond, below the horizon. Stephen Donovan says, "I've signed up for Xbox All Access and brand new to Xbox in general. What should I play first? Experts." I like how experts is in quotes because it looks sassy.
Yeah. Oh, look, you can see the balloons miles away. Can you see the balloons?
Oh, wow.
They're like little dots on the horizon over there.
See, it's all about the hot air balloons. Don't ever let anyone tell you a driving game is about cars. It's all about hot air balloons. So, Xbox All Access, to backpedal a little bit,
yes.
Xbox All Access is where you sign up for Game Pass.
Yeah,
right?
And you get your console, you're paying for your console at the same time.
Yes, so it's a little bit like the way you get mobile phone handsets, at least in the UK now, where you pay like a monthly fee and you get your, mobile phone service and you get the device. So Xbox All Access, you get the Xbox Series X, right? X, not S?
You can get both on All Access at the moment.
Both versions,
yeah,
okay.
Obviously it's cheaper to get the Series S.
Yes, and you get the Game Pass, which is all the games, many of the games available to you in that Netflixy type way. What should I play first? And if you're brand new to it, so this is a bit like Gentle Mandrill.
Yeah.
And their scenario earlier.
Yeah.
What should I play first? Well, okay, so you're thinking of a game that you couldn't. I'm going to assume Stephen is maybe not new to consoles altogether. So Stephen may have played, multi-platform games already.
I think if you're buying a new one of the new consoles, like I said, Gears is a real technical showcase. Forza is great as well. If you've not played that before, even if you're not like massively into racing games, it's just fun, like knockabout stuff. The world looks incredible, as you can see. Yes, that's a good recommendation. Sea of Thieves, if you've got a bunch of friends you can get together with, it's a really good co-op game. There's a bunch of other stuff, like I know it's multi-platform, but like Fallout 4 is on Game Pass as far as I know, and that's just like hours and hours and hours of game in that. So.
You could work your way through every Halo. You could binge play Halo, Master Chief Collection, back to back.
Yeah, that's getting an update as well soon, which will add 120 frames per second support to some of the old Halo games.
Can you imagine
which is
Halo in 120 frames a second? If you've got the monitor to support that,
correct.
Obviously. If you've got the Eve Spectrum to support that, etc.
Cool. Should we try something else? What do you reckon?
Yeah, let's play another game. Okay, do you want to choose, or shall I put it to chat? Or
put
does
it to
chat
chat.
Want to play Crimson Skies?
Well, let's have a look at Crimson Skies while because we said we would.
No, it was a joke. We can't.
No, I've got to look at it. It's going to load in like 2 seconds. But you put to chat while we choose the
While we play Crimson Skies, because Mike just cannot be stopped. Mike, you tell the nice people what's on the menu. What games can we play?
We have a game called Tourist.
First of all, let's all enjoy. Be upstanding and salute, please, for the original Xbox. I didn't. Amazing. Okay, syncing data, getting all your save games.
Look at this! I'm really making the most of my hardware.
I can't believe we're looking at this on a 4K Xbox Series X stream right now. So Carl Be Back says, "Hey Jane, hope you have your car blanket while we enjoy this beautiful snow view. Looking forward to getting your advent calendar. It'll be my first one. Hope you're all doing well." Carl Be Back, thank you very much for running the Oxventure Dungeons and Dragons advent calendar. If you hadn't spotted this already, we're selling an advent calendar of all things. I understand that advent calendars are quite peculiar to maybe just the UK.
They don't know what they're missing. They don't know what they're missing if
it's your first ever advent calendar, then boy, howdy, you are going to have yourself a time of chocolates every day. So thank you very much, Kyle.
Look how 4K this is, by the way. It's so 4K, it's ridiculous.
Believe what you've done here. Jupiter Sal says, "Thank you for your lovely streams. They've been invaluable during a stressful time working from home. Greetings from South Yorkshire." Oh, it's
nice.
Sort of your neighbourhood.
Sort of near my hood.
Sort of your original neighbourhood.
I'm more west, but yeah. Very close to South
Thank you very
Yorkshire.
much, Jupiter. Hope you're having an okay time up there in South Yorkshire. And you're very welcome. Thank you for watching.
It's 4K, but it's not doing a lot for the frame rate, to be honest. So,
No. Well, there's only so much you can do.
It's true.
Polish a turd as you have it. Lee Russ says, I was going to say that. I was like, well, that's Crimson Skies isn't, but obviously there's only so much you could. There's only so much good work the Xbox Series X can do on that game. Sea of Thieves says Lee Russ.
Sea of Thieves, okay.
Swift Index says, "Oh my god, I loved Crimson Skies." And Arkia Rayan says, "Ooh, Crimson Skies."
Well, there you go. Everyone wants Crimson Skies. No, I'll fire up Sea of Thieves. So
let's see some Sea of Thieves right now. Okay. Francis Esquadro, I believe, says, "Hi, gentle people. Question: who's preparing Quiz of the Year 2020, and how much of that process will just be staring into the middle distance?" Wow, I hadn't even thought that far ahead. It's usually, I think last year it was Andy.
Andy tends to like to put those quizzes together.
Andy's quite good at Quiz of the Years, but yeah, Quiz of the 2020 is just, it's going to be a real real hard time making light of Quiz of the Year 2020.
Yeah.
I mean, I suppose we normally focus on games, which, you know, there were some
games
in gaming.
But yeah, I don't honestly don't know. We've not even had a chance to think about it, to be honest. There's been so much going on.
We did do a little call out on social media, on Twitter and Facebook, I believe, maybe Instagram, asking for ideas for Christmas challenges. So we have thought about Christmas challenges. If you've got any bright ideas there, then do hit us up. But we hadn't got as far as end of year content, which is Game of the Year, Quiz of the Year, etc., etc., etc.
Yeah.
So we're not sure, but that's a great question, because it's quite hard to make light of a year such as this one.
It's true. It's true.
Dwayne G says, I plan to get a Series X for Cyberpunk 2077. At this rate, I think I'll get one around 2077. Okay, now, here's a question for you, Hive Mind, and also a question for you, Mike.
Yes.
What would you bet that Cyberpunk 2077 is actually going to come out on the 10th of December and not slip into next year?
I honestly, I thought, when it went gold, I was like, we were talking about it with Andy, and Andy was like, it's definitely going to slip again. I'm like, no, it's not. They've gone gold.
That
How
means
can they?
There's discs. There are discs
on the way.
Discs. Of course, discs are meaningless now.
Yeah.
Just you're going to re-download the entire game when it arrives, so the disc is meaningless.
But yeah, I think now having if they've already pushed it back, if it's not ready, then they'll probably push it back again. But my understanding is that what they're struggling with is getting it to work on the very oldest consoles, so the original PS4 and the original Xbox One. Apparently, it's the struggle is getting that to work. So
it's such a fragmented generation. Yeah. It's if you think back to the very original specs of the very original Xbox One, having to make a game work on both that and the Xbox Series X,
it's bonkers when you think about it.
That's wild. Like it must be almost like developing for PC, where you're like, what are the system requirements?
Yeah,
and,
I mean, if
the lowest system requirements are really quite low.
Yeah, but at least with PC, there's an established trend for, or not trend, but it's established that you can say, all right, well, your PC is just not good enough to run this.
Yes, there's a consumer understanding that it's like, oh, I've got a potato PC, I can't play Cyberpunk. If you've got an Xbox One and they've said you can play it on Xbox One and then it runs like a dog,
like absolute garbage.
What the hell? Why am I even a console gamer if I can't at least trust a game to run on the console that I own?
But if you if you count the Xbox One X and PS4 Pro as a generational leap, which you could do, I suppose.
Yes.
That's like trying to get a PS4 game to run on a PS2. Do you know what I mean? It's like trying to get Spider-Man on PS4 to run on a PS2.
It's ostensibly one generation, but that's more of like a branding thing than it is really like a tech spec thing at this point. Yeah.
So I can see why they're struggling, basically.
Also, the thing of like Cyberpunk being delayed by, it was 3 weeks, wasn't it? It slipped like 3 weeks. 3 weeks is nothing. How much work do you realistically get done in 3 weeks? Like 3 weeks, if you're trying to. Maybe
they're just hurriedly rewriting it as a text adventure for the previous gen consoles or something.
Hey, I'd be up for the text. Mike and I have both been playing in the midst of all this fabulous next generation technology. Mike and I have also been playing a text-based adventure.
It's been great,
It's been a nice palette cleanser on top of all the 4Ks.
It was.
Oh no, you've already damaged your ship.
Oh well, that's not my fault, really.
It's probably going to sink now before you even get out of the harbour. I don't.
Oh, all right. I'll go in and fix it. Fine.
Go in and fix it. Otherwise, it's already game over for you.
Vampire the Masquerade Night Road is what we've been playing, and it's really good. It's on your mobile phone.
That's our customary shout out.
To AN Vampire game.
To an almost graphicless. Vampire the Masquerade game.
It's the absolute antithesis of this.
Yeah. I know. But it takes all sorts, right? It takes all sorts.
It's true. Games are a vast and exciting tapestry.
Yeah,
What's
it's
this?
a rich tapestry. Mike's about to ruin his crew members' fun by taking the boat away, says Lee Russ. Are you in multi? Oh, you do have multiplayer. You've got
someone's just hanging out. Yeah.
You've got someone hanging out, and you're about to ruin their day.
I'm gonna go and get a quest.
Get a quest.
But Sea of Thieves. I don't really remember what it looked like previously. It's probably not the best candidate for
you do.
graphical stuff because. It's got more of a cartoony kind of painterly thing, but
yes, it had pretty lighting and it had nice textures, but obviously it's not meant to be like photorealistic.
Yeah,
I don't think like volumetric lighting is the order of the day.
It looks.
Here,
I mean,
exactly.
it does look. You can see a bit of the kind of. You see the light passing through the thing and stuff. That's quite
so
fancy.
Volumey. Yeah, there we go.
So it does look nice, and it runs obviously like extremely smoothly.
Obviously, the loading screens would be improved.
Yep.
I don't remember were the loading screens particularly bad in Sea of Thieves. They were all right.
Yeah,
they were
not too
okay.
bad. Not too bad.
So. Yeah.
But it looks nice. It's a nice looking game. And
Yep.
let's talk to Sandra.
Ninja Snowman says there's some good spooky content in Sea of Thieves right now, so I guess that means they've still got their Octoberween content
it's all
in there.
glowing skulls and stuff.
November content.
I had a glowing skull somewhere, but when I was playing this the other day.
We were playing Phasmophobia yesterday, and they still have all the Halloween pumpkins, like the jack-o'-lanterns, in the HQ sort of garage base. And I was like, that's weird, isn't it? Because Halloween is over. But then that's Christmas, isn't it? You've got Christmas trees up for like another week.
Yep.
After Christmas. So I guess that makes sense. Stanley, I'm going to try Nidrangu, potentially.
Yep.
Sorry if I've mispronounced your name. Says, Mike, Bugsnax, thoughts, go.
I've not played it yet, but it's exciting. It seems weird.
Ian Higton, our good friend over in Eurogamer, has been playing Bugsnax, which is the game. How would you describe Bugsnax?
I don't even know what it is. Like, really, it's the game where people's arms turn into fruit. It's
a PlayStation game where you eat bugs, and those bugs are snacks, and then you adopt the properties of. I don't know why we're trying to describe a game we haven't actually played. No. So our thoughts are: it looks fun, and apparently it is fun. So there we go. Rough Gem says, I'll wait for the bundles of the new consoles before buying. So, so there's actually not going to be a bundle, not immediately a bundle of like, here's Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
And here's an Xbox Series X. Unless a retailer is sort of empowered to do that for themselves, right?
Yeah, they can do. They can do what they like, really. But
it wouldn't be an official like Xbox bundle, but.
Yeah.
In theory, you could rock up in mid-December and be like, I'll have one Xbox Series X and a Cyberpunk, and there's a deal going on.
Yeah,
like
I think the closest thing to it is just Game Pass and sort of all access.
Yeah.
Insofar as that's the way to if you want to fill your console up with games to start with.
That's true. That is the bundle, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty
Game
much,
Pass and an Xbox Series X or S, as the case may be, is the bundle, kind of.
Yeah.
Interesting, because all of those games that No, here's the thing. If you had Game Pass, it wouldn't have Cyberpunk on it. So
No. That's true.
But if you were like, what's the Master Chief Halo Infinite bundle? It is the Xbox Series X and Game Pass, because it will be on that day one. So yeah. Here we go. Sarah Grace says, Mike, thoughts on Demon Souls? I know it's PS5, but hyped.
Oh yeah, I'm super excited about it. I have pre-ordered a PS5. Like, I think that I've been tempted by the exciting exclusives, and Demon Souls is 100% the one I'm most sort of interested in. So yeah,
Did you play the original Demon Souls? Because I know you're a Souls fan.
Yeah, I've played it. I've not completed it, obviously, because I've never completed any of those games. But I've played a fair amount of it. I got through the first sort of area, but then the second area was really hard, and I had to learn a load of new enemies at once, so I sort of gave up.
I appreciate that it's going all the way back to the beginning, like where the whole thing started, and so it's gonna look just wildly
absolutely
improved.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, you're gonna see. Forget these like remasters where you're like, it looks a little bit different, a little bit better.
They have changed the visual style a bit. Like, it's a bit more bright and a bit more colourful. Because the original's like really bleak.
That sounds controversial to me.
Yeah,
it is a bit controversial. Some folks up. Yeah,
but I don't have a problem with it. I think it just looks pretty, and it's I'm sort of treating it, even though it is a remake, I'm sort of treating it as a sort of brand new game to a degree.
Yes, I think that's fair, and I think that's probably how they're treating it, because although the Souls series is like hugely influential, there will be a lot of people that didn't cotton on back in the time of Demon Souls. You know, that wasn't like the breakout hit, I suppose.
Yeah.
I've
switched my feed to 30 frames per second in the hope of getting more stable frame rates.
Calming it down.
I have killed my monitor again, so I am going to have to letterbox you again.
Okay, everyone, hold on tight. hold on to your butts. This is Dennis Nedry, Jurassic Park time. Everyone hold on to your butts, because Mike is about to go and steal some frozen dinosaur embryos and then abscond and then get spat in the face by a poisonous dino. And Mike's not coming back, is he? Mike's dead now. It's just me now. I'm going to keep talking, though, while we get shot in the face. Oh, wait. Here we go. I've been letterboxed again, Mike. I'm voguing for you, but I don't know why. I don't know why this is
Have
a
you
thing,
been letterboxed again?
I've been letterboxed. I'm going to keep going.
Yeah.
Charm Knight 015 says, it's a hotly debated topic, but I'm in third month Halloween camp with Andy. So Andy, bless his heart, he's on holiday by now, at the moment, by the way. Andy's tradition, his idiosyncrasy, is to celebrate Halloween for a full 3 months, which is September, October, November, the period known as Spooktober, I believe. Not Novemberween after all.
Yeah.
But Spooktober lasts for 3 months, and it's not Christmas until Spooktober is over. So Mike is still celebrating Spooktober. Yeah. So we invite you all, if you are so inclined, to continue celebrating Spooktober with us.
I think the only thing I take issue with Andy's position on is the idea that he only celebrates it for 3 months. I think it's pretty much a year-round thing for him. But
I mean, every day is Halloween if you're Andy,
if you're a
closet goth parent, right?
Yep,
there we go.
That's true. I'm hoping the frame rate's going to stay a little bit more steady because we've dropped to 30. Oh my gosh, I've been set on fire.
Okay. Eon Stormcrow says, on the topic of the Cyberpunk delays, I'd bet my house Cyberpunk will be delayed to next year. I don't mind though, as CD Projekt Red has earned my faith. I think that's crucial. CD Projekt Red has so much
goodwill,
so much like consumer goodwill to spend, if you see what I mean. Like I think it's earned it, but I think also it can afford to spend it, if that makes sense. No one's going to get, well, I was going to say no one's going to get mad at them for delaying the game, but actually, as we can see on Twitter, I saw some of the CD Projekt Red developers saying, like, please don't send us death threats because we delayed our game. Yeah. Please don't threaten my family because I delayed a game. Yeah. Please don't do that. And obviously, yeah, don't do that. But I think there is also a very large group of people who will, as much as they want to play they want to play Cyberpunk, I think they will have patience for a better better product. Also, like, critics and consumers are very rightly disappointed by, like technical failings, right?
Of course.
So if it launched on time, but it was a little bit of a mess, I think that would be.
It would be a backlash of a different flavour.
Oh basically. Yeah, that would be horrendous. And I think CD Projekt Red is actually very perfectionist. So if they need another 3 weeks, I think they're going to use it well. Also, I mean, gosh, it's a complicated conversation, but also sympathies to everyone crunching so hard over it.
Exactly. Yeah, so it's there's a lot of stuff in play in that debate, basically.
Ideally, we get to a point where no one delivers death threats to anyone over a game being delayed, and also people don't have to forgo their personal lives and families, and health, etc., to make that game come out, in good time.
Indeed.
There's a lot for everyone to work on there, and I don't have the solutions. So, but I do know I'm looking forward to
the game. Yeah, the game. I've played 3 hours of it, so I can safely say that the game is good. Like, it's fundamentally good. But I
forget that Mike has actually played quite a lot of Cyberpunk.
I occasionally forget, and then I'm like, oh yeah, I've actually played 3 hours.
It was all the way
game.
back in blimmin' June, wasn't it?
Yeah, which might as well have been a million years ago during.
It was a million years ago, back in June. So that was the sort of that would have been I assume the sort of E3 demo that CD Projekt Red found the way to let people play remotely, let certain games press, such as Mr. Mike Channel, play remotely.
It was fun. We made a good video on it about our sort of experiences and gameplay and things.
Yeah, you can see it on the channel. We
also made a cocktail video, which was lots of fun to make because I got to drink a delicious cocktail.
A delicious Cyberpunk cocktail. I tell you what, selfishly, I will be sad if Cyberpunk slips past the end of the year because it would just be an ideal Christmas game. One of those big, roomy RPGs to sink into for the next several days.
I think my squad mate is enraged that we're not going on some sort of quest.
Go and do a quest with your poor squad mate.
I proposed one, but they didn't want to do it. Also, my ship is crashed at the moment.
I mean, you need a ship.
Yeah.
I know that much about piracy. You're gonna need a ship.
You're gonna need a ship.
It is 3:40.
All right. Is there anything else we want to have a look at?
What are the other games on the game menu? What do you have? What would people like to see?
I have. We've.
Why don't you show us? Why don't you pop us into a frame?
Right. Oh yeah. Okay.
And show us how the interface is different. I mean, I know it's not very different.
Yeah, the main thing is this new ability to group by console type. You'll also need to worry about your different types of storage. So all the stuff on here at the moment is installed onto the onto the SSD in the console. If you're playing a Series X game, it has to be on that to play the Series X version. Regular Xbox One games, like these, for example, they can be running off a USB 3 external hard drive, and they will still run well. You won't benefit so much from the fast loading times and things, but they will have their sort of little graphical upgrades and things like that. And
I think that's a point worth reiterating, because we were talking about it earlier in the week. You can't just have a generic USB hard drive and put your Xbox Series X games on it. So if you fill up the hard drive on your Xbox Series X, unlike on the Xbox One, you can't just get any old hard drive, stick it in, and use that as additional storage. And that's a big deal, because
the storage is the extra storage. There is a slot for it, but it is fabulously expensive. It costs almost as much as an Xbox Series S does. So it's an astonishing amount of money. It's like £200.
You've got less choice and higher prices to buy extended storage for your Xbox Series X.
I think it's definitely going to be something I need to pick up at some point. That extra storage, but I'm really putting it off because it's so expensive. So.
I'm already in a position where you can only fit so many very large, like 90 gig games onto your Xbox One, and so I will occasionally just have to delete an entire game that I'm sort of still playing.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I don't have to do that too often, because obviously I can use a hard drive. But I think that's going to be something that we'll have to.
It affects the way I treat games. Like I tend to have fewer games on the go at a time, because I'm like, well, if I'm installing, if I want to play the Modern Warfare campaign, I'll have to try and play that all the way through, so that I can then delete the 100 and however many gig file that is on my hard drive. So rather than just being able to flip between whatever's on your selection, you're gonna have to be a bit more specific. Like Assassin's Creed Valhalla is a perfect example, right? It's like a big single player game. Like that's one that I'll need to power through and then be able to just delete and never have to worry about it filling up a hard drive.
But in the olden times, in the before times, you probably would have just chipped away at that.
And bought another hard drive, and it could have I could have like dipped in and
played
out
with other games. So.
It's a bit of a shame, but it's also like it's not really Microsoft's fault. It's because the storage in the Xbox Series X and the PS5, to be fair as well, the storage in these consoles is so like top of the line, high speed to facilitate all this loading, this fast loading thing. It's just expensive storage. It's not like buying just a hard drive that you plug in. The reason a hard drive is much cheaper is because it is much slower, basically.
Yes, not all storage is created equal, obviously. And very much in the case of Xbox Series X, you need the fast, expensive stuff. So there it is. What I was going to say was our friend Wesley and Paul over at Eurogamer raised a point a while back, and it wasn't specifically about next gen, but it was about how, for instance, the Call of Duty Warzone patches have been huge, right? Traditionally huge, and frequent. And he raised an interesting point that I don't think is covered very much about the ecological, like the environmental footprint of enormous game downloads, right? It's easy to think of them as being like non-physical because it's just data, but actually there costs you money, and it costs you money, and it costs there are servers whirring away using power. And if you're downloading 90 gig of updates once every couple of weeks or what have you, that's a huge cost out of nowhere. That wasn't a thing 3 years ago.
And I mean, if you look at I don't have like a ton of games installed on this thing. I've got a few, like 20 or so, but I'm down to 60 gig free, and that's like I need that 60 gig just for the odd update that will appear, and do you know what I mean?
Of course. And the update's like, we can't update until you've deleted one of your games. It's like Sophie's Choice. Now choose one of your game children to let go of.
I updated Forza Horizon 4 like for this stream, and it was a 65 gig update. So.
It's incredible. I would love to see and this is a job for an actual investigative games journalist. I would love to see someone quantify like the carbon footprint of downloading downloading a 60 gig update every week for one game or the other.
It must be meaningful after a while.
Yeah, what does it amount to? How many like car journeys does that amount to in terms of like electricity used, etc., etc.? Illustrated Jill in the comments says, I'm with Andy on spook celebrations. I still have an obscene amount of candy corn, not candy, corn.
Candy corn.
Candy corn,
carrots,
and fizzy bat wings. and I refuse to touch a mince pie till December.
Fair.
So
fair. I won't.
Now's a good time to pick up fizzy Batwings and candy corn.
Oh yeah, they're good. Those M&S fizzy Batwings.
Right now.
They're delicious.
Yeah, they'll all be on sale. So yeah, go and pick up some candy corn. In fact, if you're in the UK, I don't even know if you can buy candy corn. Not easily.
No, it's really difficult to get hold of. All my supplies of candy corn have come from like people in the States who've taken pity.
Your contacts.
Yeah.
Your candy corn suppliers. Brandon Simon says, I'm late to the stream, but I was wondering, what can you tell us about the controller? Oh, I was waiting for this question. Sorry if it was already answered. Brandon, it was not answered.
Yep.
I can show you right now. It looks almost
identical.
Exactly the same. In fact, do I have an Xbox? I do. Okay, this is unfortunate because the Xbox One controller I have to hand is actually a white Ghost controller, so they don't look as similar as they should. So, but you can see form factor wise, shape wise, size wise,
pretty similar.
Almost identical.
It's slightly narrower, I would say. Slightly narrower in the hand.
It?
Yeah, very.
Oh yeah,
very,
it does feel a little bit
subtly
skinnier in the shoulders here.
Yep.
Also, there's a really nice rubberized texture.
Yeah, it's like
it's not rubberized. It's
dimpled, I would say. Like
it's a very, very fine dimple. It's actually very nice to touch.
In terms of practical stuff, there's a share button, which you can set up to share, like record clips.
I don't know
if
people can see this. Can you see this? Hang on.
It's
the
right
share
in the middle,
button is here. Oh god, I'm doing a bad job of this. Hang on.
Bit
share
further
button.
down.
There we go. There we go. Share button.
So you can configure exactly what that does in the settings. The D-pad's new. It's a kind of hybrid D-pad and kind of rolly sort of pad.
It's a nice clicky D-pad. When you use it as a D-pad, I really appreciate the clickiness of it. I think that's quite useful.
I think the key thing though is that they've got this new like low latency technology, which increases the responsiveness of it, and it's very noticeable in something like Gears 5, which really makes the most of it. But yeah, it does feel more responsive, and it is a really nice bit of kit to use. It's very much a continuation. Like, it doesn't feel as radical as the PS5 controller, which has things like haptic triggers, like resistance triggers, and I think the PS5 has some like force feedback that is similar to that you find in the Switch. You remember that ice cubes thing where it feels like you're... Did you ever try that on the Switch?
No.
It's a thing where you like shake the Switch controller around. You can almost feel how many ice cubes are in the glass because the vibration is that like precise.
Yes, right. I see what you mean. Right now, I'm with you now.
So apparently the PS5 controller has that sort of thing, but I've not tried it for myself. Other practical things. I mean, I'm sure this makes sense for like fast charging and stuff, but it now has like a USB-C port on the top, which means I don't have a readily available cable to just plug it in. So I'm running it on.
You don't have a USB-C cable?
It's not US. I have plenty of USB-C to USB-C cables, but the
not
console
USB.
itself doesn't have a USB-C on it. So I don't know why they put it on the controller, but not on the front of the console as well. But anyway,
interesting. Okay, fine.
Particularly as that, USB-C might allow you to have connect faster storage at some point. But anyway. It's a minor grumble, but it does mean that like when you're fishing around for a cable when your controllers run out of batteries, which is the only technical thing that hasn't happened yet on this stream, but may yet happen.
There's still time.
There's still time
to call, to get a full bingo card on things that can go wrong.
Could possibly go wrong.
This stream. Do the do the face buttons, asked Jason, feel any different? The AXBY buttons?
No, I think they're the same sort of resistance and kind of not quite like clickiness, just sort of quite a soft click.
Lord Shadow says, so like an Elite controller, I guess.
I don't think it's quite it's definitely not as like tunable and kind of you can't
not
set
as pro
it up.
as that. Yeah.
But
you can't. The Elite's the one where you can pop off the D-pad, right?
But
you can like replace the thumbsticks with taller thumbsticks, that kind of thing. Yeah.
The D-pad is inspired by the one on the Elite controller.
Yes.
It's a bit different because it's more of a hybrid. It feels like a D-pad, but it also has that kind of rolliness that the little dish one had. The rolliness,
yeah.
But it's a good pad. I think the responsiveness
Lauren says, God, I love USB-C so much.
USB-C is amazing. I mean, the rate at which it charges my phone is brilliant.
Yes.
But yeah.
That's true. That's a different thing. I appreciate that also. Eric Lovecastle says no wired controllers. Is that true? Not a thing.
No, but then there weren't officially wired controllers for the Xbox One, were there? Like the 360 had the wired controller, which was had no battery pack and just had a wire.
Yes.
But everything's from the Xbox One onwards. You plug in a USB thing.
Yeah, we're not going backwards with a wired one.
But
I actually use the wired 360 controller all the time because it means I don't have to worry about batteries in my 360 because it's very rare that I need to use the 360. But if I'm capturing some gameplay,
absolutely,
on a 360 for some reason, I'm like, where's my good old wired controller?
Also, it's worth pointing out, and this is actually a really nice thing,
right?
For a new console launch, is that all your old controllers work with it as well. So like you won't get the same responsiveness, but you could use your Xbox One controllers with your Series X if your Xbox Series X controller runs out of battery, and they all just work. So there's no like having to buy another controller at like 40 or 50 quid because all your old kit works with it just fine. It's got the same sync button that you use to sync a regular Xbox One controller.
And if you want to play one of the very small handful of games that has couch co-op, you don't have to go and buy 3 new Xbox Series X controllers, which is great. And also that's probably not the game where the elite responsiveness is required.
Yeah, exactly.
Perhaps.
Although, to be honest, Dirt 5, I think, has...
Split screen,
4-player split screen, We can't show it at the moment. Dirt 5 is, as you can see, updating right now, and that may well be the Series X patch, but we're not allowed to show Dirt 5 yet.
But it has got split screen.
As far as I know, it's definitely got 2-player split screen. It may have as many as 4-player split screen.
Interesting.
And it's I can say, having played the game, I'm allowed to say that because the game's out. This
is Mike checking the NDA.
I'm just in my mind.
Going, what
I'm
allowed
definitely allowed to
say
that it's the sort of game that would be really good in split screen because it's very knockabout.
I feel like you're always allowed to say you like it.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, if I'm like it's garbage, they're like no.
Okay.
The other rally game that is out and has an update, weirdly, is the official WRC 9 game. Which...
Oh no! Why are you tricking us into watching you do a stream of a rally game now? Michael Wolf in the comments says, "Can Jane say happy birthday to Michael in America? It's not really my birthday. I'm just trying to class the place up a bit." Sure, Michael. Happy birthday to you. Let's call it like a happy birthday to save, to like store up.
Yeah.
And enjoy on your actual birthday, whenever that might be. I just saw a comment that I liked about USB-C, but I'm going to have to search for it now because it's scrolled off the screen. Hang on. USB-C. Oh, Rick Sweeney says, I guess with USB-C, you could still pretend it's an old USB and turn it over several times before plugging it in.
Yeah. That is the best thing about USB-C is that it goes in upside down.
Yeah, you can tell which way it's supposed to go up. For some reason, you'll never have that problem. Obviously, the real curious thing about his USB is where you have to put it in more than 3 times.
Yeah, that's the weird thing, isn't it? Yeah,
on the
third time
possible?
It works.
Yeah, that's not right.
Look, Jane, a car game.
Oh God.
Sorry.
Andy wouldn't stand. If Andy was here, Andy, if you're watching while you're on holiday, Andy is absolutely raging right now. If he's watching, which he shouldn't be because he's on a break. But I don't know why we're watching. No, I do know why we're watching a rally game now. It's because Mike's in charge. Mike's steering the stream. To be
fair, the frame rate is struggling somewhat with that. So let's go back to interface fun.
Okay. Did you say you thought that was updated? This has
updated, yeah.
What, the WRC?
Yeah. So all these ones that are here are fully updated, but I think the actual stream's struggling with it.
Okay. Oh, sorry, the stream, not the game.
No, the game is running. Fine. I mean, any frame rate drops you're seeing here are 100% the.
Well, that's good to know because I was about to say WRC is not covering itself in glory, but apparently it's just the stream. So now we know.
But that's a game that does not run particularly well on One X. It's a bit choppy on One X, but it's absolutely rock solid with this update. So
it's finally found its home on Series X. Sam Animate says, do you guys think that Xbox will break up the Master Chief Collection to save HD space? If they don't, do you see a lot of peeps uninstalling the MCC? Gosh, Sam, that's a
really
great
good
idea,
question.
And I hope they do that because intermittently I will download the Master Chief Collection.
Yeah,
because
you'll
it's
need
huge.
You'll need to capture a bit of footage from Halo 2.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, I guess I better install every Halo game that has ever been made just so I can just get this tiny bit of footage.
Obviously, I love every single last one of you Halo games, but I don't need you all right now. I wish you would stay on the servers and not come onto my console, please. That would be amazing if they could break it up.
Yeah, it would be.
Or just, the download for Master Chief Collection is like a hub. And from that hub, you go and download the thing you want. That would be marvelous, because it's only going to get... it's not going to get bigger exactly, but it is big.
Yeah,
it is huge.
They have done this thing recently with Modern Warfare, right? Modern Warfare now,
exactly,
they updated it, and so now you can the game itself is small and everything is content packs. So the single player is like a couple of content packs, multiplayer is a couple of content packs, and Battle Royale is a couple of content packs. And you can
take the hint.
You can hot swap between them. So
yes, exactly. That's exactly what I need from Master Chief Collection. So I don't have to install every Halo game to capture just like 20 seconds of footage from Halo 3.
It's a really kludgy like fix, certainly in the Modern Warfare thing, but it is So.
But it's as to Sam's question, are they actually going to do it? I don't know. I don't know if there's an. They're probably busy. They're probably like, oh damn, we got to make a Halo Infinite. And I know it's not the same people, but it's probably not top of the agenda, I think, generally.
I should point out that some of these games here, specifically not Assetto Corsa, and I don't think Hunt Showdown. I installed Hunt Showdown and Assetto Corsa because they both run like absolute garbage on regular Xboxes, and they are both improved substantially by the Series X, even though they haven't had a patch. So even games that haven't had an update can benefit from that sort of thing. But Borderlands 3 is getting a Series X update. Madden 21 also is getting a Series Series X update. Avengers, I think they said it was going to be 2021, but actually the latest I've heard is it might be in December that will get an update. Dead by Daylight's getting an update, hopefully day one. Fortnite, 60 frames per second. Grounded is also getting one.
There's a lot of complexity, isn't there? Because there's a lot of games that would benefit from Series X updates, and they're not all coming on day one. They're going to come in dribs and drabs. So that's
better that they are coming at all, I suppose.
Yes, of course. Yeah, no, that is good. But if you've got, say you do get yourself a Series X and you do have a collection of games that didn't run quite so well on the Xbox One, I guess they will run somewhat better, but they won't run as well as they will eventually, finally.
Yeah, I think the ideal situation is that there is a bespoke update that benefit that takes advantage of all the features of the Series X. The alternative is that the game doesn't get updated but does run better and load faster, which is exactly the case for. I mean, Assetto Corsa Competizione, like it's it was so bad when it first launched, it was almost unplayable. And then they unlocked the frame rate and it was a bit better on One X, but it still looks kind of awful on a regular Xbox One. Now it's running at like 50 to 60 frames per second in 4K on a Series X. And it's just it's like a totally different game almost. So it can be...
So you're going to get benefits. Yeah.
But the benefits tend to be... and this is something that our friends at Digital Foundry pointed out. The benefits tend to be in games that were quite poorly optimized to start with, like Assetto Corsa. Take something like Red Dead Redemption 2, which is already a highly optimized game that is really getting quite a lot out of the hardware that it was running on, and it is hitting good sort of solid frame rates and stuff. You don't see as much benefit from that because it's just little things like, slight texture filtering things and stuff like that.
But the loading
times will be, if you are prepared to set aside some of your Series X storage space for Red Dead Redemption 2, which is a big game and it's a good chunk of your hard drive.
But that you could put on a third, on a...
You could, but you wouldn't get the loading benefits.
Oh, of course, because then it would be loading off the store. Oh, damn.
So you've got to, if there's something you play all the time, but it's an old Xbox One game, absolutely install it to the Series X hard drive because it loads so fast.
Yeah. Like we were talking about earlier in the stream, Witcher 3. If you are one of the many people, myself included, who still haven't quite finished The Witcher 3 and all its DLC, maybe you can spare a bunch of hard drive space on your Series X just to play it with the teeny tiny loading screens that you will have to put up with these days. So Elias in the comments says, is this an Xbox Series X? It looks a lot like an Xbox One. I mean, it does look a lot like
the only thing is that it's that ability to sort of sort by the type of the console the game is designed for. But it's a very it's a continuity experience, and I think actually. I was chatting to our good friend MC Fixer on his podcast, which is going out at some point soon, about Series X, because he's got one as well. And we were talking about how it's a really weird experience when you get your Series X out and you kind of plug it all in and you sign up and it's all that kind of excitement. And then it pops up and it's your dashboard and it looks exactly the same as it did on your previous Xbox. And I do think... If there had been a big sort of Xbox Series X like first party launch title to get like super excited about, it would have felt a little buzzier. But it is a weird. It's not a disappointment, but it's a weird kind of like. It does sort of like bring the kind of hype train to a slight halt when you're like, oh, it's just more Xbox, and it's not until you actually get into the games, and I think definitely some of the third-party games which will look really, really good. That's when it will feel really next gen. But as an experience, it's just like it's continuity. It's like you unplug one Xbox, you plug a new one in, and
you don't want to learn how to use a new interface or find things in a new menu.
And all your background, like your home backgrounds here. So this is my weird, dirty alley background from Zombie. That zombie game.
Why is that your wallpaper?
I don't know. I just couldn't find one that wasn't really distracting, and then I found this really.
You just wanted like a really grim, gritty, grimy wallpaper that reminds you of London. I guess.
Basically, yeah. And now I don't even get to go out into London and see.
Oh, so now it's a fond, nostalgic picture for you.
I thought we could have look at a couple of things. So there are Game Pass quests, which is a newish thing. Which get you rewards and stuff.
Oh yeah, no, I get those.
Yeah,
I've seen those.
It's been a bit confusing. Those have been popping up.
It's a bit like achievements gone mad, isn't it? It's like, congratulations, you played a video game today. Have an achievement.
There are also perks, which is quite neat. So the ones I recently downloaded were there's a new Dead by Daylight DLC with the horrifying clown and some other characters.
Right.
Which apparently, because I've got Game Pass, I get it as a bonus. So that's something I wasn't really aware of. I hadn't really explored Game Pass that much until I got the Series X, and actually there's some neat little perks. So make sure you check your perks.
Check your perks.
Kind of fun bits and bobs. Fine. Overcooked 2 Surf and Turf DLC. Put some PUBG horror stuff. It's kind of cool.
Just rewinding a little bit here as an update. Dan Wald 1 and David Lube says they already do on PC. It's already broken up on PC, and that's in reference to the Halo Master Chief Collection, which means, as per usual, the PC gamers are laughing, aren't they?
Yeah, well, yeah. Although I think there's room for the Series X people to laugh at the fact that this is an extremely powerful bit of kit, and particularly stuff like quick resume, so the ability to skip back into a game without quitting it and without restarting it. That's something that you can't do on a PC. You have to load a PC game up every single time.
Can you show us a quick resume while we're here and explain the quick resume?
If I didn't close Gears, maybe...
You can only resume it if it's still open, obviously.
Yeah, it's true.
So you should be able to jump right back into Gears 5 wherever you left off, depending on how you quit it.
Let me get into the game and I'll show you what it looks like.
Okay, so quick resume is the thing where you can jump back into a game almost instantly from having done. So it's a bit like if you could alt-tab right back into the middle of a game.
Exactly, yeah. But it works even if you switch your console off, which is just bonkers.
Yes, so that's the key thing.
Because it's using space on your SSD.
Yes.
And maybe that the more space on your SSD, the more games you can switch between and things. I'm not sure exactly how that works, but I suspect that's a factor.
I mean, to test this quick resume properly, what you should do is just fully turn off your Xbox and really break the stream.
Yeah, it's true.
Really confuse your poor monitor now.
Yeah, okay. So if I go... So we've watched all our title screens and stuff, the kind of stuff you have to do when you reboot the thing. It's loading. Yeah. This is all... I mean, these are faster loading times than you'd experience on a regular console, but it's a big game with a lot of graphics going on.
By the way, on the topic of perks, etc., and missions, John Burnham says gamifying playing games. It's all gone a bit meta.
Yeah, it has.
We heard you like, to use an extremely old pop culture reference, we heard you like games in your games, so we put some games in your games. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So our game's loaded now. That did take a little while, but if we continue. Whatever chapter we were on.
Yes.
You'll see how fast quick resume is.
There are a lot of people in the chat saying you're just describing alt tab, which is sort of true.
No, but it doesn't work if you switch your PC off.
If you switch your PC off and then came back, you would be able to alt tab into the game. Yeah.
Oh, it's such a pretty game. Full of giants.
And Zog says quick resume sounds good, but who plays more than one game at once?
Well, you do now that it's not massively inconvenient to do that. Right.
Oh, you say now that it might change gaming habits now that you can actually do that.
So you like, blah, 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 you're back to your thing, you're doing your thing, and then if you, I think, how am I going to, I mean, this is the game, the game's still running there at the moment, so I need to go into another game to demonstrate it. So if I then go into, let's say, I don't know, Dead by Daylight, right?
Okay. Samuel says Halo Infinite, please. Samuel says what we're all thinking.
Yeah, it's true. Halo Infinite will come. It'll arrive in. There you go. It's quick resumed. I mean, it's quick resumed Dead by Daylight because I was playing it before. It's freaked out a bit because it's because I was online at the time, so it's lost what I was doing.
Okay. So that application suspended is because of the connectivity issues.
Yeah, exactly. So I was in a lobby clearly when I quit, and
oh no, and you let down your.
But yeah,
Dead by Daylight Survivor crew.
If I go back to home and then go back to Gears, it should quick resume.
Okay,
well,
let's see it.
Maybe Gears is too massive to do that.
Oh dear, we're really putting quick resume to the test.
Yeah, we are. Yeah. It hasn't done it.
It's a live test, everybody. Here it goes.
I think maybe the bigger the game, the harder it is to work. But
that's not a great look, Series X.
No, it isn't, is it?
It sounds good on paper, but in the actual crucible of being live on a live stream, it hasn't exactly covered itself in glory.
There you go. So quick resume's popped up for that, but yeah, like it's just.
But still connection errors. Okay, there are very specific circumstances under which quick resume may improve your quality of life.
Yeah, I think to be honest, actually, Microsoft have said that there's certain games that it works well with at the moment.
Okay.
I think like Madden.
So it's yet another thing that may improve over time, but isn't going to be at its best.
Does it? Yeah,
on day one.
So Fortnite's quick resuming. All the Xbox One games are going to work with it just fine. So this is where I was before, but I'm not looking at like title screens and things like that. You know. It's just needing to I think with online games, it's less useful because there's obviously online infrastructure and, losing connections and regaining connections. Yeah. But
nice comment here from Athanasius, who says, Zoe on Eurogamer showed the quick resume to good effect a few weeks back. Something like 7 seconds to switch between games for her. So that is worth looking out. Check out our friends over at Eurogamer. Zoe did some good Xbox Series X stuff. And you'll be able to see quick resume in action.
Yep. I wonder whether this is not going to quick resume either, is it? No.
Jim Nye, the science guy, says, so is connection speed now going to be the bottleneck for load times? Could be.
Connection online stuff? I mean,
I think that's what they mean, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, certainly online stuff is going to slow you down if you're using quick resume. Anything single player, it should just work just fine. So
well, I think Shy Violet, I've lost your comment, but I think Shy Violet, among other people, have said like the reason I switch between games is because I'm going from like a single player game, maybe something story based, to like a multiplayer game where I'm, going to play something with my friends. Yeah. So quick resuming into the multiplayer game is going to be less straightforward than quick resuming into the.
I'm just realizing that most of the games we've been playing have like online functionality, and it's.
I mean, don't they all?
Yeah.
Don't they all? Yeah.
That's true. Anyway, yeah. It's a good bit.
Kevin Smith says Sims 4 still going to take 30 minutes to load.
Oh god, if only we could test that. Yeah.
Do you know what? Someone pointed out on Twitter that there is a Sims 4 pack, right? There's an expansion coming out next week called Snowy Escape, right?
Right.
And it's coming out on consoles at the same time as it's coming out on PC.
Oh, that's cool. Is it like Ski Resort or something?
It's you're going to love it because I know you like a little bit of skiing and snowy festive stuff. So it's like a ski resort, but it's like a Japanese-inspired ski resort sort of in the snowy mountains, and you do skiing and whatnot. We could install Sims 4 on an Xbox Series X
and see how long it takes
and see whether you get those like 7-minute load screens.
Oh, that Dolby stuff I was talking about, Dolby Atmos.
Oh yeah, let's have a look. Dolby Atmos. Let's see what it's got in terms of audio options.
Was previously available, but it's you have this you can set it up for headphones, how your headphones are connected, etc., etc. So say that. Or I don't have headphones.
You don't have it configured at the moment, so that's not going to do us any good. But I see what you mean by the app. Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. I didn't even realize they could do this, but it sort of runs in the background and augments your audio.
Okay, tell me this: how does remote streaming, not cloud-based streaming, but streaming from the console to my phone? What's the app for that look like these days?
It's the new Xbox app, which is you will use to set up your Series X. It's another quite nice touch.
Because before it was the Insiders program, wasn't it? The Xbox Insiders program, which is a different looking kind of like.
It's now built into your Xbox app, and you can is available to everyone. And there's a little button up at the top that allows you to just sort of connect to your.
Interesting. Yeah.
To your console, you can connect to remote play. You can also do open remote control, so you can control it remotely from here and do things like you can use the keyboard on your phone and on your PC to type in like codes to be redeemed and things like that.
Oh, okay, that's interesting. I like that.
And also you can manage your storage as well, manage your installed games. So you could, as long as it's on standby, you can be like scrolling through and deleting and
that's fun.
reinstalling stuff.
That's good because the remote streaming experience was impressive, but like not exactly user friendly.
I would absolutely if you're buying a Series X and you've got, I think it's only on Android at the moment though. It might not be on Apple phones. I'll have to double check, but no, it must be. If you're running it through the app, there must be a version of the app for Apple. But
you would. You can't not. I mean, I suppose you could, but it would be better if they hadn't taken a nap on iPhones,
But I would 100% recommend going to Amazon or wherever and picking up. There's like for about 15 quid, you can buy like a plastic clip that will connect your phone to your Xbox controller.
Oh yes, I do. I think mine's just out of reach. Yeah.
And
not
just
expensive at all.
And it turns your phone into a little sort of handheld console.
Yeah.
Some stuff it doesn't work that well. I was talking to like MC Fixer last night. He was like, I was playing FIFA on it, and everything was just so tiny. The ball was tiny, on his phone screen.
It's not designed. Absolutely not designed for
something a bit more slow paced,
size.
like a open world exploration-y type thing.
You know what? I played Grounded on it. It was nice for Grounded because Grounded hasn't got a lot of interface. You don't need to look at a lot of.
Grounded is one of those games that's getting a Series X patch as well. So there's another one of those on the way.
Again, a bit like Sea of Thieves. It's not the one that you'll sort of it'll take your breath away with the graphical difference. But I could definitely stand for quicker loading times.
Yeah, I think the stuff that's really exciting is Gears 5 looks great, and probably like me, you didn't play it before, but maybe you might want to play it now because it's a real showcase of the graphical stuff. I would say the third-party stuff, Dirt 5, I think will look great and is a really fun knockabout racing game. The Ubisoft stuff, Assassin's Creed and Watch Dogs Legion, will probably look pretty good on Series X. Those will be the kind of games that feel new, and then obviously Cyberpunk when hopefully it arrives in December. I think
that's a big if.
So it feels like a big if now,
rather than a definite when, isn't it? Let's all keep our fingers crossed.
But that'll feel like a real next gen experience, I think. Just because of the sheer scale of the game, the art direction is incredible from what I've played, and if you're playing that at 4K and 60 frames per second, it's just going to be mind-blowingly gorgeous. So
okay, well, let's hold out hope that we see it this side of the new year. Faisal Hassan says you can move Series X games onto an external HDD SSD when not playing it.
Yeah, correct.
It's more about rotating games like with PC gaming. That's true. That could be your process. Like rather than downloading it fresh every time, you just have to transfer it onto a cheaper, slower hard drive.
Yeah, that's definitely an option. Although I've not tried it yet, so you may end up with a situation where you copy it over and it only copies over maybe the Xbox One version and then you have to re-upgrade, but I don't see why it should do that. It should just say, no, you can't play this from this drive. Do you want to move it to your SSD? I'll have to investigate that actually. In fact, I do have a hard drive, so let's...
A live trial
now. I'm going back behind the monitor, you guys. Sorry.
Oh, no. Okay, all right. Everyone hang on to your butts.
Yeah.
Hold on to your butts, everybody. Mike's gone off to break the stream. No, we're going to do, maybe as the last item today, a live laboratory condition test to find out whether Faisal's suggestion... I mean, it's not a suggestion.
Yeah, it sounds like something that could work.
They seem quite confident. But let's do it live. Let's do it live. Let's try and transfer an Xbox Series X game onto a non-approved third-party hard drive.
See what it says.
And see what it does.
Okay, what have we got?
He's back. He's back, everyone. We didn't even break the stream.
Let's go Gears Tactics.
And then Sterling Allen says, "Can you all play a game?" So I think we should at least play another game before we go.
Yeah, sure. Right.
Spiffy Mark says, "This is the hard drive I keep half of COD on."
Let's do a smaller one, maybe. Smaller one.
Somebody else says, "Hello, Mike's chair." Everyone's saying how your chair's got like a cute face on it. If you duck down for a second,
it's
got like a little mouth there,
little eyes,
a little mouth
very good.
in the centre of your back. It's
right,
like a little sad robot.
This is Yes, Your Grace is a Series X game.
Okay.
But it is not a massive one, so we might actually be able to. So if I transfer it to my Seagate thing.
Okay, and your Seagate is a not approved.
Here you go. It says in the corner, one or more of your selections needs faster storage. Yes, enable update checking. One or more of your selections needs faster storage. You can move it, but it won't be playable. So let's see what happens when I move it.
Well, that seems like it knows what it's doing. So now we're going to put it onto a hard drive where it can be stored but not played.
Yes, and then
in theory you'll be able to transfer it right back and then play it from there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's what you would hope. That was what would expect.
Yeah. Right. Let's see what. So it's still showing here.
But if you try to play it, it'll be like, no dice.
Yeah. Let me sort by. Hang on. Filter. Storage. Seagate. Right. Okay. So it's there. It needs faster storage.
So try and play it from there now.
There you go. Transfer game.
Cannot be played from external storage. Transfer, and so it does give you the prompt to be like, transfer it back onto your actual Xbox Series X drive.
Yep.
And then why don't we boot it up? Have you played it?
No, not yet. Let's do it. It'll be quite a good one as well, I think. Yeah.
We should play a game, an Xbox Series X game.
Yes, Your Grace is a game that arrived in my inbox like yesterday night. So I've not touched it.
Now check your mental checklist of embargoes and NDAs.
No,
are you allowed to play this game right now?
Pretty sure we're allowed. They're like, it's live now. Go for it.
There are so many conditions and embargoes and terms and conditions and things that we have agreed to.
I think it's out on PC already. So
yeah, okay, there we go. The spirit, if not the letter of the law.
They've really captured in this loading screen the face a cat makes when you try and lift it up like that little girl is lifting up a cat.
Yeah. I mean, someone's about to get their eye scratched out. I just want to check something about this game. Hang on.
It's pixel art, so...
Yeah, I know. It's not exactly the technical...
I'm wondering what exactly they're
masterclass.
requiring this Series X for, but it's fun. It's a game of tough choices.
Yes, this is what I wanted to say. Do you remember Elle? Obviously, you remember Elle,
yes.
Our good friend Elle Silly Wood, who played Among Us
with
just
us
on Tuesday.
Day, yeah.
She voices this game. She is one of the voices in this game.
Oh,
did you know that?
I did not know. That's very exciting.
Yes, so I don't know if we can... I don't know I don't know if her character is in it immediately, but if you watched us play Among Us on Tuesday with Eurogamer and Dicebreaker, Elle was there as a special guest. Ella Silly Wood, and she is one of the voice actors in this game.
I assume this is running at like a smooth 60 frames per second.
This was not the technical showcase I think we should end on.
Maybe not, but
we have proved, like Faisal said, that you can use any manner of any manner of USB hard drive.
Yep.
To store your games and then transfer them back when you actually want to play them.
Yeah, which is actually pretty convenient.
Yeah, it is convenient. And also, do people still have caps on downloads, like from their internet service provider? Is that still
I mean, if their service provider is terrible. But but
well,
yeah, they probably do.
Yes, yeah. If you don't, and maybe think about the environment or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean,
it's going to save you some long boring downloads.
Yeah, I'm definitely. I think I'm gonna bang a 4 terabyte drive and plug that in and you know, as Faisal says, just shuffle things in and out, because that's way more convenient than doing it.
It's going to be like we were talking about at the top of this stream, the way Andy and I have got all our Xbox One and Xbox 360 games in a big folder without boxes. You're just going to have one big 4 terabyte hard drive with everything a number of your games on.
Cool. All right.
Okay,
we go back into have a look at Gears again.
Let's
nice.
Go back to Gears. Gears 5. Have you played much Gears Tactics?
No, not at all.
It's not your genre? Not your bag?
It's kind of like XCOM, isn't it? And I do like XCOM, actually. But it came out on PC, but it's brand new on... Series X is the console.
Series X is the one. Okay, I'm going to drink because I think
that one,
a long pause trying to remember the name of the console that we're streaming on is definitely worth it.
Yeah. It's been a long console launch. But,
it's been a long everything
it really
here in 2020. The Gaming Meta says, "Happy 5th, you beautiful dummies! Don't burn Parliament to the ground." I'm not allowed out of my house now.
Yeah, and it's a good job. Otherwise, what I would be doing is burning Parliament.
I can't go burn anything to the ground right now. So unless it's my daily exercise, unless I leave home,
sprinting away from the police. As you become the new Guy Fawkes.
Thank you, the Gaming Meta. Love to see you here. I remember the Gaming Meta has been around a few times in our comments. Yeah, so if you're not aware, in the UK it's the 5th of November, which is fireworks night or bonfire night or so, and that means there'll be a load of fireworks, I suppose.
From the safety of people's locked down gardens.
Yes, exactly. From your locked down quarantine garden, you may launch some fireworks and scare local dogs and cats. I spoke to my folks last night, and because fireworks night tends to leak either side of fireworks night, there's lots of fireworks going off around Halloween. My dog has been in a constant state of terrified anxiety.
Oh no!
So it's a rough time. It's
kind of fireworks season, isn't it? Because you've got fireworks
Halloween,
night, and then you've got Diwali as well, which is big fireworks night.
Exactly.
Vibes.
So yeah,
and then New Year, which is again,
and then New Year and Christmas. Yeah, in fact, I'm pretty sure while I was working earlier today, I heard a very loud firework go off in broad daylight. So I think someone got a bit excited and just let a firework off a little bit.
I hope so. The alternative is just that I don't know.
They're just doing a daytime fireworks celebration.
Yeah,
just for fun. Yeah.
Well, this is Gears. This is what it looks like. It's very pretty.
It is pretty. Go find us some reflections.
I'm going to hunt for a reflection.
Okay, Dream says, I have a 4 terabyte filled with regular Xbox One games and a 1 terabyte SSD external to add to my Series S when it comes in tomorrow. That's a plan. That is what I like to see. That's decisive action. That is a plan around your Xbox Series S.
You're going to want, particularly if you've got Game Pass, you're going to want some storage.
Yeah.
And it doesn't all need to be super fast SSD storage, but
yeah,
enough storage that you can reasonably play a lot of games. It's a bit of reflection here. That was a surprise reflection there. It's like shiny varnished wood there.
There you go.
Lovely
polished hardwood. Mark Brown says, guess my cat is spending tonight behind the sofa.
No, sorry.
It is so sad every year. I mean, fireworks are fun and pretty and I like them, but it is really harsh that you can't explain to a dog or a cat that they are going to be fine.
You're not going to die. This is the end
of
the world.
one time of year when it would be most rewarding and useful to be able to talk to your cat or dog is fireworks night, where you're like, look, calm down. It's fine. No one is trying to explode you with fireworks.
I wonder if there are any dogs that are excited by them.
I don't know.
Can you train your dog to be excited by fireworks? I don't know.
It seems almost universal that dogs hate fireworks. They have such sensitive little ears. Evan Sheeran says, wait, Jane has a dog and we've never met them? That doesn't seem right. No, I don't have a dog. Sorry if I wasn't clear. My parents have a dog and I was talking to my parents last night on a video call and they were like, look at the dog. And the dog was like,
paws over the ears.
Yeah. Oh. Evan Sheeran also says in America we have an annual tradition of every July of playing fireworks or gunshots. Oh boy.
Oh dear.
Well, I mean maybe a little of both. I don't know. I've not been in the US on the 4th of July. So yeah. Patrick Long says PCs can have RAM snapshots. So I guess that is in light of quick resume.
Yeah, but there'd be a real pain to set up.
Yeah, that doesn't sound fun or easy.
No, it sounds like a pain in the
more power to you if that's your bag.
I've just gotten bored of having to set things up on PCs. I'm happy for our new console future where it just does it for me.
That's why I'm here for the console, so I don't have to think about PC specs and so help me God, don't make me think about RAM. I just want to play a game. Wow. Beth Bloomer says, Jane, tell your parents' dog that I love them, please. I will. Yeah. I will. I'll absolutely do that.
But this guy was making a salad when he got hit by a bomb or something.
Oh, no.
Oh, it looks like a potato salad.
Oh, no. Do you know, they say a lot of people, when they get, towards the end of their days, they're like, I wish I'd gone to more parties.
Right.
I bet that guy is like, I wish I'd made less salads.
Yeah, and eaten more burgers.
I've wasted my time making salad.
Look, he's left the gas on and everything. Maybe it was just a gas explosion. Maybe he was just...
Oh, no.
It's nothing to do with the war against the locust. It's
to the new emergence day. Yeah. Oh, dear.
What a bizarre scene.
Shannon Bennett says, what is the pup's name? The dog's name is Nettie, which is short for Viennetta because she was named after the dessert.
The ice cream.
The ice cream. The old school retro ice cream by the name of Viennetta. Yeah.
Oh, look at that clawfoot tub as well. Some real nice real estate that's been blown up.
Precarious though, that tub hanging on there on that little bit of balcony.
Yeah. It's full of water as well. What is going on here? This is like a slice of life, but all exploded.
Someone was making themselves a nice potato salad and drawing themselves a.
Yeah. Let me see if I can get a frag grenade in the bath.
Okay, fine. Let's see if we can dislodge that bathtub.
That is definitely in the water, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's showing me a rebound thing.
Oh no, it's going to rebound off the water surface.
It did do a weird water splash thing, but
yeah, and yet didn't knock the
go in. Yeah.
four-footed tub down.
No. Well, there you go.
Okay. Well, how are we doing? Any more questions?
Yeah, let's get those last questions in.
Out? How are you doing, chat? How's your evening? I guess if you're in the States, it is now a more
reasonable
conventional hour, more reasonable time, because we started at 2:00, which is when the embargo lifted, which for much of the States would have been an ungodly early hour.
Yeah. Look, we're definitely on another planet because there's a 26-hour cafe.
I love it. It's that well thought through science fiction
Subtle
that I
science fiction
crave
notes.
so much. Yes. Okay. Pure Egbert behaviour, says Miss Anthropologic.
Yeah,
I presume to the trying to land a grenade in a bath. Yeah. Preeta Geek says, was Andy sacrificed to the singularity inside the new console? That's right.
Yep.
Xbox came to us and said, you may have an Xbox Series X, but
Andy must be the ghost in the shell.
They didn't even say Andy. They said one of you must be the ghost in the shell. And Andy, bless his heart, was like, I'll do it.
It's like those guys in Chernobyl who decide to go and turn the pumps on.
Yeah, very much so. He's a hero who sacrificed himself to the singularity inside the Xbox. And now it's Andy's ghost is powering.
Yeah.
True power of Xbox Series X is Andy's ghost trapped inside that box. Yeah. And that's why it's so big, because it needs space for a ghost in there.
Yeah, full ghost.
And that's why there's the holes in the top, so that we can hear
the ghost
Andy's
can breathe. Yeah, and the his dark whispering.
Yeah, so we can hear Andy's dark whispers at night from the top of the Xbox Series X. Yeah, so that's a nice feature when you get your Xbox Series X. Does it have a cup holder, says Kicker Hobo?
You could put a cup on the top of it, but there's a distinct danger that you might end up pouring water down
the vent holes are really quite large. I feel like you could probably, I can't reach it from here, get like a full pencil or a pen.
Oh yeah, small child's finger definitely in there.
Now I am definitely gonna drop a pencil or a pen fully inside my Xbox. That is 100% gonna break your Xbox. That's absolutely gonna happen. I'm looking at it now, just out of the corner of my eye, and it's only just occurring to me that those vent holes are big enough for significant things to fall into. So let us know on Twitter if you happen to be the first human to drop a pen fully into your Series X. Yeah. Patrick Long says, I've gotten bad at aiming with a controller. I rebought HCD on PC.
Right.
At first, I played with a controller to relive the PS4 memories, but it got a bit hard, so I switched to a mouse, and it was a different game.
Yeah. I used to play Left 4 Dead on the console with my friends, and I switched to the PC version. I'm like, this game is easy. As soon as you can just click on heads, like immediately.
You mean you switched to mouse and keyboard?
Yeah, I switched to mouse and keyboard. And I was like, this is a different game, and it's so much easier because you're so much less likely to be overwhelmed by the horde because it's so easy to headshot them all. So.
Just point and click on zombies. But I put it to you that so far I'm good.
Yeah, so far I'm really good.
So far I'm good. I don't want to sit at my desk all day to work. Really, I want to sit on a sofa with a controller, and I don't care if it's harder.
Yep.
Nico Lopez says, doing good. I have an interview in an hour. Wish me luck. You guys are awesome. Nico, good morning to you, I assume, and good luck with your interview.
Yeah.
Hope it goes super good. Wouldn't it be nice to have a win here in the late portion of 2020? So all the best for you. Good luck. Marie Hull says, patent a Jane's pen shield for the top of your Xbox. Okay, we need to find a way.
A fine mesh.
Yeah, a fine mesh that still lets heat through, but not pens or pencils or cups of tea, ideally. But I feel like that might impair
Or a second fan that blows across the top, that when you drop the pen, it just blasts the pen to the side before it can fall in.
Yes, or put the Xbox Series X on its side.
Yeah.
Again, it will not be as good at venting heat because heat goes up.
But better than if it's got a pen in it, so...
Better than dropping a pen in it, I'm just saying. I really wish I could reach my Xbox from here because I do have a pen and I could just check the circumference of the vent holes on the Series X. I'm sure Polygon's done it already. I bet Polygon's actually dropped a pen in there just to find out, just to science. What are you looking at here?
I'm looking at these like Freak Shake type Slurpee things that they're selling in...
Oh, they've busted pretty well.
Yeah.
All right.
Although, to be fair, that person left the gas on, so I feel like this place has been evacuated very recently.
In a hurry.
Yeah, in short order.
Yeah. Oh, lots of good luck to Nico from Andrew Phillips, Sawyer Sweet Arts. Lots of good lucks to Nico. Thanks, folks.
You're a good bunch.
You guys are all right. You're a nice bunch. Well done, Hive Mind. Sending good luck vibes to Nico Lopez for their imminent interview this morning.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh, Ginger Hosley, regular commenter, says, it's the reason I bought a new Surface Pro. I wanted to draw on my couch more. I mean, we're all looking for technology that lets us be on our couch as much as possible. Yeah.
It's good stuff. Any final questions before we...
Patrick Long does say, I recommend window screen mesh. So yeah, you could, like you say, take a very fine mesh and put it over the top of your Xbox. If you think you are the kind of clown like myself who might drop a pencil or a pen out just for kicks or a kid, if you've got a kid and they play with crayons.
Oh, right. Okay. I thought you meant like you could feed a child through the top of your Series X.
Almost see it in my mind's eye, a child going, oh, I like crayons.
I mean, a Crayola would definitely go right
the size of the holes in that new box that Mummy or Daddy has bought looks a lot like the size of a crayon.
Or just crush a biscuit, like in a single fist over the top and all the crumbs.
Oh no, imagined child, don't do that. Okay, if you work for tech support, I don't know, if you work for Xbox or you work for Game, if you're in a position to tell us if you've had a call, let us know. Basically, I want to hear the story of the first kid who drops a bunch of Crayolas into the top of their Xbox.
And what happens. I bet it would make a horrible crunching noise.
Drink. I said Xbox One X.
Oh, no.
Yes, I'm nearly out.
All right.
Okay.
Should we wrap this up then?
Yeah, what's happening with Series X? Yes, I got it right. I got it right. What's happening with Series X for the rest of this week and into next week, Mike? So what's happening tomorrow?
We will have a video related to Series X tomorrow. I'm not sure if it'll be our list feature video about it, or if it'll be something else, but there will be something tomorrow. And then the other thing, if not on Saturday, the list feature will go up. And then
basically,
Monday.
Xbox Series X video tomorrow. And Saturday. And Monday. What are we doing on Monday? Maybe Yakuza.
We haven't decided yet, but maybe Yakuza. Andy will be back. Obviously, Andy's a big Yakuza fan, so
we're gonna let Andy's ghost out of the Xbox Series X, and he's probably, maybe, gonna play Yakuza Like a Dragon in place of. I know you folks love Morgan Monday, but Andy also does love himself a bit of Yakuza, and Yakuza Like a Dragon.
Apparently, it's good as well. Apparently, it's
I hear it's going to be like a bit of a sleeper hit on Series X. Obviously, it's been out in Japan in Japanese for quite a time, but I'm very excited. And apparently, it's a really good jumping in point for Yakuza. And as someone who hasn't played any of the other Yakuza games, I think this is an ideal time for me to play that. And then on Tuesday, I think we're going to be playing a bit of Destiny.
I think Destiny. Destiny is coming out on Tuesday, so I think probably we'll be playing a bit of that.
Okay.
I don't know if the Series X patch will be live, but it will look good and run well at that point.
That's the theme of this stream. Is there's just no
one knows, and
no one knows when all these patches are coming out. So it's in a state of flux.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, in the comments, Beachyo13 says, recently retired from football after a bad injury. Love the streams. What's the best game to kick back on launch day? On launch day. Well, sorry to hear about your bad injury and retiring from football. That's a bit rubbish. But thank you for watching the streams.
Yeah.
The best game to kick back with on launch day.
What will you be playing on launch day?
Yeah, for me, it's Yakuza Like a Dragon. Like I say, as someone who hears endlessly about how good Yakuza is from Andy and other folks, I think Like a Dragon is going to be the ideal time to jump in. And in fact, I watched some stuff about auto HDR, so high dynamic range. This is, and how it works on, for instance, Like a Dragon, and it is going to make a big difference, I think, because there's a lot of neon
Yeah.
A lot of places where you will benefit from having like the deepest darks and the brightest lights.
Sort of Akihabara type.
Yeah. So I think that's going to look really nice, and also it sounds really fun. And Andy has also been banging on about Yakuza being good fun.
Yeah.
He makes a strong case for it. So if you'd like to check out Yakuza, then do come back on Monday.
Yeah.
And that's the day before launch. Obviously, the actual console comes out on Tuesday.
Yep.
So,
I think I'll be playing more of Gears. You know, it's the big graphical showcase. It's the one that feels the most sort of next gen-y to me. So
and you played 4, so you know what's going on.
I mean, I wasn't really concentrating on the story, to be honest. I was just looking at the graphics and going, "Ooh, this is pretty."
Don't tell me you don't know about the family drama, the Phoenix family drama.
Oh, they argue a bit, don't they, Marcus and JD?
They do.
But it's because they're so alike. You see.
Yeah.
They
They're
just
more
don't see it.
different, aren't they?
Yeah. But probably play that. Sorry for the sort of slight. I think the frame rate's tumbled again in the thing.
It's really in and out. I mean, but this has been.
It's our hardware issue rather than. I mean,
it's
the console
not the Xbox
itself.
Series X. It's like it's not you. It's us.
It's us. Yeah.
But where the U is the Series X.
But we tried, and hopefully you got a bit of an idea of what it looks like graphically and some of the interesting lighting things and stuff like that. So
and thank you for entertaining us on this sort of new technical adventure.
Exactly. It's an exciting new dawn, and I think we'll probably be slightly less ambitious next time we stream something from Series X.
Or equally ambitious, but with more refinement and know-how.
I'll try.
It's been a wild, fun experiment. Thank you for bearing with us,
and thank you for all your questions, which have really made this Q&A useful and interesting, hopefully, for people. So thank you for your help with that.
Okay, so look forward to some more Xbox Series X coming up very soon. Stuff on the console, but also stuff on things like Yakuza. And then we're going to be playing some Destiny 2, which I haven't played for quite a while.
It's going to be a good point to return to it, I think.
Yeah, exactly. Let's get back in.
Sounds good. All right.
Abidosian Chulak 2 has our final comment and says, Andy's ghost is living in the Series X. I thought he was past inside Xbox. No, he's gone back inside Xbox.
Yeah, he's back inside Xbox now.
But he'll be out next week. We'll let him out.
He'll be outside Xbox again too.
Yeah. Okay, let's wrap it up there.
Cool.
Folks, thank you for bearing with us. We'll see you soon. Have yourselves a lovely evening, afternoon, morning, whatever it is where you are.
Yep. Bye.